talk about real quick. I'm going to start here because I think this is more, well, I don't want to say obvious, but I want to say I saw it coming. And the reason I saw it coming because I heard people making whispers or whatever. And a lot of times I don't like to follow along with these different types of, let's say, gossiping that happens here, or whatever the case may be. So I don't want to do the gossip thing, but we can't have discussions about things. And I think that'll be, you know what I mean, worthwhile. So many of y'all know Beyonce's mother, Tina Knowles, if you didn't know, and her husband, Mark Lawson, are getting a divorce. Yeah, they're getting a divorce. I know it's kind of crazy, but that's what's happening. Um, I had saw this coming. I can't lie to you. I saw it coming a couple of months ago. Um, and it was rumors and it was talks here and there about them breaking up or they might have been broken up. And this is usually what happens. Usually there's a long form separation that happens first. And then finally somebody or another in the two parties, they decide, you know what, we're going to get a divorce or I'm going to file for divorce. And so they've been separated for some time now. Now, the reasons why nobody says and nobody's been saying it's just under the moniker irreconcilable differences. So there's something there or some reason why these two want to break up. Now, I don't know what it is. I will say this there's some odd things about this story. One, Tina Knowles, she wants to, well, now Tina Lawson wants to revert back to her original last name that she shared with her ex husband, which is Knowles. And I'm wondering, is this because of association with Beyonce and or is this association with her ex-husband? Is she still in love with her ex-husband? I don't know. And I'm trying to figure it out. And ever since I first heard about this story, and ever since I first got wind of it. I'm gonna bring this down a little bit, guys, so you guys can see me a little bit better. Ever since I got first wind of this, I didn't know what to really think of it because the gossip mills at first they were just sitting around, they were talking about, oh hey, you know, Tina hasn't been seen with Mark in a long time, and the last time they was seen, I guess, was at the Met Gala back in March, and that was the last picture they had together, and that was shared on Instagram, and I remember seeing that. And then subsequently after that, they had just been seen by themselves. You know, they hadn't had a picture, they hadn't had a group outing or anything. It's kind of like he just disappeared and she just disappeared. Now they share multiple amount of properties and a couple of assets together, and they had been together for almost 8 years. You know, it's a short romance, I will say that. But there was some things out here that pointed out to me that just, I don't know, they were just really weird. Like for example, Mark had mentioned prior to this that he had been in love with Tina while she was married to Matthew. I don't know what to say about that. Listen to me again. Mark, who's her current husband, said that she was the most beautiful woman he had ever seen in the world. And he said this almost 32 years ago while Beyonce was still in Tina Knowles' stomach. And I said to myself, I said, wow, that's some devoted love right there. And I was kind of applauding it when they got together because it was kind of like a romance story with Tina Knowles and Mark. And I remember Mark Lawson for being on a couple programs, a couple movies I'd seen before, such and such or whatever. And so I look at him as a reputable actor, if anything, and a producer, which I didn't know. He's been in the acting game since almost late 1970s. So he's much older than many of us. And she's 69 years old, and I believe he's around about 74, 75, something like that, around there, 73. No much older than that. He's in his early 70s. And so I said to myself, wow, they're getting a divorce after only 8 years, but you spent 32 years being in love with this woman. So what happened? And I think that's going to be a question that's going to be on many of our mind, but even more so, I don't think it's ever going to be answered. I don't think it's any of our business, really. But after 32 years, that means what you were proudly married to your wife, because he was married at the time. He was married up until I think it was 1986 or 1988 from 1978. So that means the whole time that you were married to your ex, you were lusting after Tina Knowles. And now, only after 8 years, like in my opinion, y'all should have been together forever at this point. I mean, she's 69, you in your early 70s, you about shedding something. Like at this point, I'm just saying myself, what's next? I mean, like, who else wants you? You know what I mean? Who else wants Tina Knowles right now in the game? I'm just saying, a 20-year-old, a 30-year-old, a 40-year-old. And I got to lean on the faction that Tina Knowles wanted the divorce, not Mark. I think Tina Knowles wasn't ready for another love. I think she still may possibly be in love with Matthew Knowles. But now it's 69, mama. I don't care how much of a superstar y'all. Who's going to pick you up next? And that's the question. And I don't think anybody's asking that. I don't think anybody's going to get an answer to that just based on the status of her and Jay-Z and Beyonce and all the family combined, even the other daughter that Solange, that we rarely mention. I love that song, though, Don't Touch My Head. It's a sad set of ideas, a sad set of plays. But she, today, went and filed for divorce. And I was just amazed by this because I'm saying, wow, at 69. Ladies, listen, I ain't trying to be funny or nothing, but if you had a man that had been chasing after you for 32 years, and this man was in love with you when you had one of the biggest superstars to walk the planet right now, Beyonce, was in her stomach while she was married to a whole nother man, you ain't gonna find another love like that, you know? And maybe you come to some contention or whatever the case may be. And I don't know what happens in the household. Maybe they had bad sex. Maybe they had a lot of arguments. Who's to know? But what's written down is irreconcilable differences. All right. They own some properties together. They own some assets together. I can imagine. And early in the year, I guess somebody had broke into the house and stole $1 million worth of shit. Isn't that suspicious? Isn't that weird? I was playing. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just looking at it like that. And I'm not dumping on Tina Knowles, of course not. But I'm just saying to myself, wow, at 69 years old and him at 70 something. I mean, what do you got to look forward to as far as the dating market is concerned? I mean, either one of you now is going to be buying a date or buying love. And I honestly and truthfully think, Tina Knowles, that was your last shot at real love. Did y'all not hear me? This man was after her for 32 years and he finally got the girl he wanted and only was stayed with for a third of the 32 years that he was actually chasing after her. Does that make sense to y'all? Like, it's just weird to me how, I've got uncles and aunts that have been married 25 years, 30 years, 35 years, and one of them close to 40, which is my mother's oldest brother, right? And he's been married to my Aunt Jeanette ever since I can remember. I'm in my 40s now, and they was together when I was a baby. You know what I'm saying? So let's say everybody part of 43 years, 44 years they've been together. You just don't find love like that anymore. And this, how can I say it? This world we live in that's materialistic, that's not bent on love itself, and it's just bent on, hey, whatever opportunist moment fits for me. Now with Tina Knowles, she stood nothing to gain out of getting with Mark at all. So it had to be true love. He's not as big of a superstar as anybody in that household, including Solange. I love Solange, man. Shout out to Solange Knowles or whatever, whatever. Yo, you a hell of a boxer. I see you that video in the elevator. You was let me stop. But listen, Tina Knowles, I'm just saying, are you prepared to be sexless? Are you prepared to be loveless? Do you actually want to die alone? And I'm thinking a lot of these women in this current temperament that's out here, and this is the reason I'm grabbing onto the story. I know this is something I usually don't talk about, but I think in this current temperament in America, we are throwing away the object of love. I don't give up on love. You know what I'm saying? I just don't. I know there's some beautiful women out there that I meet all the time that say hello to me. I always flirt a little bit with different women. I mean, that's just me. I don't want to die alone. That's just me personally. I don't want it. It takes six motherfuckers, excuse my French, it takes six motherfuckers to carry your casket, depending on your weight, four at the least. And so I don't want to be, one of these people, because I think some people, they get into this temperament where they get a certain age. And the reason I'm talking about this, because this goes segue into somebody else that was part of this crew, which is Kanye West. And I'll get to that in a minute. But at some point or another, I know a lot of my viewers, y'all probably can identify, especially some of y'all from down south, especially some of y'all from even the Northeast, that you also have relatives that have been together forever. Even if they're not married, they've been together forever. And now they're 60 something, 70 something. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like, who else is going to want you? You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying there's a probability that nobody wouldn't want you, but Tina Knowles, come on, ma. Come on, ma. You 69. Let's just say the well is dried up. That might have been the problem. That might have been the problem. The sex might have been whack. But how whack could it have been? Because Matthew Knowles was there for years. You understand what I'm saying? But at the same time, Matthew Knowles was cheating, had a side baby here, had a side baby there, had a side baby here. So maybe the vajay is terrible. Let me tell you something. Y'all gonna hate me saying this. I've been with beautiful women. I put pictures of women that I've dated, been with, or seemingly this saw for a couple of weeks or whatever the case may be, right? And I don't care what nobody says. Sex is a huge indicator in a relationship. Okay. Even as you get older, sex is a big thing in a relationship. You gotta, you understand what I'm saying, on a regular basis. And if you don't like that, it don't matter how friendly you are. It doesn't matter how much I love you. It doesn't matter none of that shit. Sooner or later, that is going to come into play. You understand what I'm saying here? And I think that's what it is. Your ex-husband went and had 2 side babies, okay? You got back together with him, and he went and had another side baby. So I think he genuinely loved you. I'm talking about Matthew Knowles. I think he genuinely loved you. He made both of your daughters, well, one a semi-star. Shout out to Solange, the elevator queen. But shout out to Beyonce, of course. And what more can a man do? So I started thinking to myself, is Tina Knowles the type of woman that is unappreciated? Is Tina Knowles a little, I don't know, narcissistic? Every time I see this woman, I have to be honest with you. Every time I see this woman, you very rarely see her smile in the picture. Am I wrong? How many times have you seen Tina Knowles in a picture and she's actually smiling? Don't worry. Excuse me, guys. How many times have you seen Tina Knowles in a video, a post, or whatever the case else, and she's smiling? This woman, usually when I see her, she has this mean look on her face and she's like this. That might lead to something. She might have a temperament that is not condescended with having a marriage. And a lot of times when men go and cheat on you, like men go and cheat all the time. Let me hold you. All right. I'm not going to sit here in front for you and lie for you and just throw smoke up your butt. Men go and cheat all the time. We all know that, ladies. Some men do, and then there's some men that don't. I was one of the men that did cheat until my ex cheated on me. You understand what I'm saying? My ex cheated on me. Now you get into revenge cheating. You get what I'm saying? I don't know if that's the case with Mark and her versus her and Matthew. Nobody's ever asked that question. Has Tina Knowles ever stepped out of the marriage? Did Tina Knowles ever shake some vajay or whatever the case may be? Because according to Mark, her current husband, soon to be ex-husband, he was in love with this woman for 32 years. Beyonce was in her belly when he first met her, and quote unquote, his words were, "You were the most beautiful woman I ever seen in my life." And I said, "Well, nigga, you must have not traveled a lot." I mean, don't get me wrong. Beyonce's mom is pretty. She's cute and everything like that, but she's accessorized. Can we just say that? You know, and I'm not dumping on her, nothing like that, or whatever the case may be. I'm just keeping it above. You know, like I couldn't imagine her being too much the hotness. You know what I'm saying? That I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So I don't see it that way. You know, and I look at a lot of older women, I'll be like, and I'll revisit in my mind and I'll say, oh, I wonder what she looked like 20 years ago, 30 years ago. A lot of us do that with older women. A lot of older women don't realize that. A lot of these older women will be out here. See, there's this marker when women hit 50 for some reason or another that happens only specifically and exclusively in American society. Believe me, in a lot of other countries, especially the Caribbean, it's not that. In a lot of countries, like especially Caribbean, Latin America, Jamaica, etc., 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 A lot of older women are looked at, oh, that's that thing right there. They're looked at as mature. They're looked at as, having a thing together. A lot of these women are established, so they know exactly what they want. And sometimes they just want a boy toy. I get it. But society-wise, how it looks, a lot of times is when these women turn around 50, I'm gonna say, I'll even go as far as to say 60. I won't really say 50, I'll say 60 something. Society starts making them blind to everyone else's eyes. You understand what I'm saying? You're now not getting those looks you was getting in your 20s and your 30s and even in your 40s. You understand what I'm saying? Men are not chasing after you, because one of the main things that comes into play is at that time whether or not if the man already has kids and if he has future endeavors of wanting more kids. You get what I'm saying here? And if that man's intentions are to have more kids, well, at 60 something, you definitely can't give it. And at 50 something, there's a possibility, but it's going to have to be in your early 50s. So a lot of men, when they go out from that point, they look at a woman that's 50 something, 55, 60 something years old. What starts developing in their mind is, well, listen, I got a contingency plan. If I don't want no other kids, I can get with an older woman. But a lot of the men in the Caribbean, they'll get with older women, for different reasons. You understand? But here in the States, oh, you're blind to men 9 times out of 10. If you ain't a bad older chick, let's name some bad older chicks. Halle Berry's a bad older chick. Angelina Jolie's a bad older chick. Janet Jackson's a bad older chick. I'll tell you what, definitely that I would take down any day of the week, and that's motherfucker. What's her name? Jesus Christ, Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett can get it right now. And Angela Bassett is like 63, 64 years old. She's freaking beautiful. You get me here? But what my problem is in American society, you have this cutoff point with women, where with men, as they get older, seemingly we become more attractive to women. You understand what I'm saying? More women want us. You understand? And we have our pick of the litter. I can have, like, even right now, I'm not in my 50s. I'm in my mid 40s, but I can still have a chick that's 20 something, 30 something, 40 something all day long. And nobody in society will etch a word to me. They'll be like, look at that chimp right there. You understand what I'm saying? That's what they're going to say to me in American society. That's what they're going to say to me. And I'm cool with that. You understand what I'm saying? Because I tend to date younger all the time. My ex was younger than me, not by a strong amount, by a significant amount. She was younger than me. And I did that because I had the intentions of having a large family. I want at least 3, 4 kids. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I'm falling back and I'm always on my grind and everything like that. And there's a lot of other things that I do. Tina Knowles, you're 69, baby. 69. And you're filing for divorce? And then there's a larger conversation we could have about this, because seemingly enough, and I'm not taking any shots at anybody, but evidently Black American women file for divorce more than anybody else in the United States of America, only second to USA white men. Is that coincidence? Is that something that we should have to discuss? I think there's something behind that, and I think it's temperament. And I think a lot of times when you get some men of color and they complain about, well, she wants to go get a white man and da 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 da, and Latin men too, and Asian men too, because they're the most undated, unmarried men. Their own women don't even want to date them. You understand what I'm saying? At a higher propensity than you think. You understand what I'm saying? Same thing goes with Middle Eastern women. These women are going and they're dating white men because of pure simple fact they don't like the tribes and the customs of their culture. So when I look at Tina Knowles now filing for divorce at 69 years old from a man that's 73, 74 years old, I'm like, well, what's next, Tina? Now, maybe there's something missing from the equation here that you're not telling the public. Maybe she's sick. Maybe she just didn't feel the relationship anymore. But I just can't imagine being a man and for 32 years, including the fact and the point of when you had Beyonce in your belly and this man was chasing after you, quote unquote, while you were still married. Were you happily married? I don't know at the time. It don't seem like it. Your husband at the time, Matthew Knowles, went now later on and had 2 side babies, not even 20 years something later. I'm just saying he had to be cheating when they was Destiny's Child. You understand what I'm saying? So, and if you see, they've separated themselves from him publicly. They never appear anywhere with Matthew Knowles. I can't even remember the last time I saw a picture of Beyonce and her father together. When's the last time y'all saw a picture of Beyonce and her father together? And that's her natural born father. You see more pictures of Beyonce and Jay-Z together than you see pictures of Beyonce and Matthew Knowles together. And from 2000, whatever they separated, I think it was 2012, 2013, somewhere around there, they separated or whatever, up until her new marriage or whatever the case may be. And maybe we could say that that was a retaliation marriage from Tina Knowles. Maybe she married Mark because of pure simple fact she wanted to retaliate and show the world that she could get somebody else. And maybe Matthew Knowles just didn't give a shit. Maybe secretly her and Matthew Knowles might be getting back together. Who's to know? But the only thing I do know is there was a lot of weird things coming out of Mark because he was also married at the time when he quote unquote had this attraction for her and said, "Oh, you're one of the most beautiful women in the world, and I always thought beauty of you." And here it is, 32 years later, let's get married. I'm like, this shit sound odd as fuck. You know what I mean? Like something don't match up here. And so what I'm thinking is, and I'm hoping that's not the case, this is a facade or something like that. Two, the other option could be maybe they really were in love and they found that it didn't work out. Three, another option it could possibly be is maybe they just fizzled away. You understand what I'm saying? It happens. So I'm just asking the question, when you're 69 years old, do you think the best thing to do is get a divorce? Listen, if I'm 69 years old, I don't want no divorce. Don't divorce me. What I got to do to make it right? You understand what I'm saying? That's where I'm at. As long as no knives were involved, as long as no gunshots were fired, as long as nothing was thrown and scarred anybody up, what I got to do. And a lot of y'all may not feel that way. Y'all may not feel that way. Y'all might, in today's temperament and times or whatever, may feel a totally different way. But I will say again, my mother has a lot of brothers and sisters, my mother. My father doesn't have as many as she does, but even them, they're married. And they come from a different time. I understand that. And this is why I say all the time, a lot of the stuff was condensed at those times of the music. You understand what I'm saying? But Tina Knowles, you come from the epitome of love. Your daughter at one time sung nothing but about love. So at 69 years old, now you want a divorce? For what? I couldn't help but avoid it because the last time these two have been pictured together was back in March, and that was at the Met Gala here in the New York City tri-state. They have not been seen together since then. I wonder, Richard, the one that set the robbery up, the house was broke. I just talk about that too. Now, about last year, they had $1 million worth of cash and jewels and everything like that come up missing from the house. The security cameras and everything like that have never picked up who stole something out the house. You understand what I'm saying? And evidently she was on vacation or at a gala or some type of event or something like that. Both of them when this happened. You said Richard, I call him Mark. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't want to throw him too much out there, whatever his name is. We'll call him Richard or whatever. Sometimes he goes by Mark too. I think that's his big name or middle name or something like that. Either the case may be, that's a possibility that could have happened. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what points me back and say, well, maybe this was a charade. You know what I mean? Maybe this was something that wasn't real in the first place by either or parties, and they did it for their own benefit. I mean, there's a lot of things to gain here. There's contacts to gain here. He gained a lot of assets. And make no mistake about it. Listen, even with residual income, this guy, Richard, ain't matching up with her. You understand what I'm saying? Now, they combine assets or whatever. Yeah, there's a possibility or whatever. But this is Beyonce. And that man's been acting since 1970 something. You understand what I'm saying? So he had no pointer whatsoever ever got more famous, more lucrative, or et cetera, et cetera. Not to say that he didn't have finances, but I'm just saying he has never been as lucrative as her or the family in general combined. Matthew Knowles paying child support and all kinds of crazy crap for 2 kids, 2 side babies. You understand what I'm saying? He's still papered up. Have you ever looked at his net worth? This man is not poor. You understand what I'm saying? He's not poor. So I'm thinking to myself here, and I'm saying, ladies, and I'm saying to you, what happens, because many of y'all are young, right? And this is why I want to expand this conversation. I'm just going to tell everybody I'm live. This is why I want to expand this conversation. A lot of you guys are online nowadays and you're sitting back and you're talking about, oh, I don't need no man. And I'm good without a man. I can do it by myself. I make my own money. And I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. Yeah. You know what I mean? But this is the thing. I think a lot of you ladies right now should look at Tina Knowles and her separation from Richard here and say to yourself, you know what? That could be me. Because I don't understand the prospects you're looking at 69 years old. Now, everybody wants a 69-year-old, but Jay, that's a lot of freaking mileage there. I'm just saying. You understand what I'm saying? You might have some undetected STD, some shit. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? You might have caught some herpes back in 1970 something. You know what I'm saying? They ain't just been active for a minute. I don't know. But Tina knows at 60 motherfucking now you want a divorce? And now you're adding to the roster of many of these women, and you're showing an example that you don't need no man. And only people I see most prominent with this type of routine the most is black and Latin women. Excuse me, black and white women and Latin women. I'm gonna throw them all three in there. Because Safari Vigaria, she's getting a divorce. She's 52 now. Very pretty Colombian woman. And I'm just like, yo, at some point or another, you old chicks getting these divorces. Halle Berry, the same thing. I can name 3 or 4 other women the same thing. You understand what I'm saying? But let's not take a hint at someone like Angela Bassett, who has been with her husband going on 3 decades at the minimum, or 2.5. You understand what I'm saying? She has never left him. I forgot what his name is. Somebody remember his name, right in the chat. But she's been with him for a while. I can name a couple of other people, but when you look at certain female, black female, Latin female, and it's particularly white female, well, I think they're patterning this behavior off of, oh, I'll just divorce them and take it all. This is not the case. I will respect this, though, because it's amicable between these two. One, Richard said he don't want nothing from her. Two, Tina says she don't want nothing from him, and they both willing to sign off on it. I want to give them an applaud for that. Because what they're doing is they're giving you an example of you shouldn't get married just because you want to divvy into somebody's finances, divvy into somebody's fortune, etc., etc. Now, this might be part of some type of, prenuptial agreement they had or something like that. I don't know. Courtney B. Vance, that's his name. Thank you, Sam Cook. Yeah, Courtney B. Vance, that's his name. They've been married forever. Now, I don't know if they're happily married. It's none of my freaking business. But one thing I do know is she's never left that man. And she's been married to him for a while. Now, she might have thrown out some side for Jay here at a party or something like that. I mean, it can happen. You know what I mean? It's said and reported by the CDC and many other agencies that women cheat more than men. You can argue with me about it. Go to Google right now and look it up for yourself. Argue with them. Argue with the CDC. That's what they say. You know what I mean? They say women, and based on the demographics that have been taken from various different dating sites, that women cheat more than men. I remember one time Corey Holcomb had on this show with Zoe Williams. They had the guy that was from what is the name of that cheating website? In a minute. And they had the dude on it that was actually, it's women that are most of the time here cheating. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, the men cheat too, whatever the case may be. But in a lot of cases, the men take years. If you got a fat juicy at home and she got that, damn, you know what I'm saying? I think I'm going to stay here forever. You know what I'm saying? Some women just got that snapper like that, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying, that mouth work, this extra exceptional. You understand what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. Or you like the way her breasts flop when she's riding you, whatever the case may be, right? We all men and women here, we grown. Sometimes you don't want to leave that. Now, I can't blame you, you know what I'm saying? But make no mistake about it. At 69 years old, it ain't about the snizzle. If you've been chasing a woman for 32 years and she was pregnant when you claimed that you was first in love with her, that's something different, buddy. That's something different. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Also, make sure y'all hit up the Cashapp, $STRINGERBELL80. I believe we'll find out sooner or later why these two broke up. I think it'll be divulged to the public. And I just say to both of them, hey, listen, guys, who the fuck is gonna want y'all? You know what I'm saying? At 69 and say, what you about to do, Tina? Go to the club? Now, this is one thing that might make sense. And I just want to end this with this. I know when I was with my ex, one of the problems that I had, because I traveled extremely a lot. I've shared these pictures, well, some videos, but mostly pictures in my community section. You guys can go there and check out some of them right now, right here on YouTube. And you'll see that many times over, I've been all across the country. You understand what I'm saying? Probably at the least, probably 10 times over. You know what I'm saying? Miami, of course, which ain't nowhere, but LA, everywhere. I've been everywhere, Arizona, you name it. You know what I'm saying? I've got friends in these places. You know what I'm saying? I can still go there. The same owners own the same places, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, what I'm thinking here is that's Beyonce's mom. And I know since Beyonce has been young, you always saw Tina in the picture. So she might have been playing kind of like den mother slash mother. You understand what I'm saying? And in fact, well, you could probably see if Richard is a man that has to work all the time himself, because he's got projects and things like that going on. This is not an unaccomplished man. I'm just saying that the elk, when in comparison, the success rate is not the same. Okay, we got to be honest with that. But make no mistake about it, before Tina Knowles married him, this man was worth millions. You understand what I'm saying? He's been acting since 1970 something. You understand what I'm saying? He's been producing since the late 80s, early 90s, and 2000s. He's produced multiple movies, been on for script writing, all kinds of different stuff. And he's still acting. And a lot of low budget movies, but he's still acting. Let me get some people in here, guys. We got to get some donators in here, some people that contribute, people that like this channel, etc., etc., not just listeners and weirdos. So my thing is this, man. It could be a possibility that these two are amicably splitting because of the lack of time they get to spend with each other. But at the same time, I'm thinking, Tina, in 6 years, 7 years, let's say even under 10, how much are you going to be traveling with Beyonce? Beyonce is almost 40 something. You understand what I'm saying? She gonna get out here. She gonna have to at this point. She gonna have to do her Tina Turner. You understand what I mean by that? God bless her heart. Meaning that she's one of these type of artists that she's gonna have to tour and travel until she's well into her 70s. Same thing with Jay-Z. They gonna have to tour and travel way into their 60s and 70s because of the demand for them. Two, it's missed opportunities with money. This is what you see out of your legend artists like the Rolling Stones, like and I can say this honestly, coming from the music industry. This is what you get out of your Rolling Stones, your Madonnas, your Willie Nelsons, you know what I'm saying? Who's the other one? Aerosmith, all these types of groups or whatever. Believe it or not, these groups make 10 times as much as these new artists do, even your biggest artists, even more than Drake sometimes. You understand? Because they're legend artists. That means they have an international following. They have an international appeal. They can go anywhere and pop up, and there's always constantly demand for them. So if you chose not to any longer tour or perform or whatever, it could be detrimental to you if you ever get into a financial stranglehold and you want to come back. You understand what I'm saying? Now, the demand will still be there for you, but if you stop performing for like 10 or 15 freaking years, it's like, yeah, forget that guy unless you had a very, very, very high elk of a catalog that lasted and strained for 2, 3, 4, 5 generations. Someone like U2, someone like Sting, people like that. These are legend artists. You understand what I'm saying? So they're going tickets for their concerts start at like $150 and go all the way up to $2,000 for these legend artists. If you want to be front row with them, if you want to go meet Steven Tyler, if you want to go meet Bono, if you want to go meet Madonna, etc., 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 you're going to pay some bread. Madonna was just in New York doing Halloween. You understand what I'm saying? And I forgot what the club was, but it was down there somewhere by the Roseland. And they were charging, when they found out Madonna was in the building, oh, the price went up. Tonight's price ain't last night's price. You better believe that. So I'm just asking myself at 69, Tina, how many more years do you plan on accompanying Beyonce on tour or your business endeavors? That might have something to do with it or whatever. She might just be a busy person. But I would think to myself that these two can work it out. Maybe they made the decision of, hey, we're going to see separate people. I don't know. Unless she builds a successful makeup brand like Rihanna. Rihanna ain't got to get on stage, not yet anyway. Rihanna been getting on stage though, ain't that funny? I said Madonna. Rihanna and ASAP Rocky, it's been floating under the radar, but Rihanna's everywhere with a second baby in her belly. You know, they were in Paris performing with ASAP. ASAP is kind of taking the helm now. He's got a new album coming out. He's been filming some new videos. You know, I'm gonna throw that footage up for y'all so y'all can see it, but it's crazy because ASAP, in my opinion, is doing his job with Rihanna, but Rihanna will have to perform again. You understand what I'm saying? And once them, the makeup brand being worth billions, I get that or whatever. And that's a perfect segue that you said that. I appreciate that. Guys, make sure y'all hit the like button as y'all come in here. Make sure you also hit the Cash App. Let's see if we get $40 in there. Can we get $40 in the Cash App? Is that too much to ask? Let's get $30 in there. Jesus Christ. Uh-oh, somebody got mad because I asked about my Cash App, so they wanted to log off. Oh. Isn't that the most silliest behavior you ever seen in your life? Go over there and give it to Umar. Anyway, we're not worried about that. And hopefully, maybe I'm talking too much, and maybe they just went to go hit my Cash App or my my PayPal. If you did, thank you very much, and I'll make sure to shout you out doing this broadcast as I always do. But the fact remains of this, right? I gotta say that there's a temperament in the world, and I think a lot of girls are going to see from example of this, that if Tina, look, this is the way they're going to take it. When it starts getting saturated in the media, that's why I wanted to jump on and talk about it right now, because that really saturated in the media yet. When Tina goes full throttle with this story and the interviews start and the sit downs come a year from now on why her and Richard, they separated or whatever the case may be, etc., 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 what's going to happen is not only is she going to make money off of that, just sitting down with whoever and whoever, not only that, but one of the things that's going to happen is these girls out here are going to say, well, if Tina can get a divorce at 69, what the hell am I worried about a man for? You know what I'm saying? And that's sad because what it does is it takes away from the population numbers. That's for one. You add in abortion on top of that, and you can feel any way you want to about that. But if you add that in, this is reality. If you add that in with it, it takes down the population numbers significantly. So I don't know. Good luck to you guys. I just don't see what it is being freaking divorced at 69. I hope that never happens to me. I hope to God. At 69, you should want somebody right beside you. You understand what I'm saying? And being strong with you and standing by you and being down with you. Now, this is the other thing. I want to segue from that because I was talking about marriages and I'm talking about basically freshly married, remarried Kanye and still single Kim Kardashian. And I think her biggest problem was ain't nobody trying to hit that after Pete Davidson and hit that. Yeah. Oh, heroin addict looking Pete Davidson. Yeah. Oh, Staten Island dirty ass. Man, listen, man, I ain't trying to shit on people from Staten Island or whatever, whatever. But this particular breed over there is Staten Island. This is what I talk about when I talk about poor white trash. Staten Island has always been known for a lot of poor white trash. Not to be confused with Long Island, where there's a lot of opulent people over there, particularly a lot of Italians. And there's a lot of Italians on Staten Island too. But the decorum of the Italians on Long Island and the decorum of the people on Staten Island, especially if you're here from the New York City tri-state and you live close to New York, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's very different. These are two different elks. We're talking about Tuscan, Napolese, versus Sicilians. You understand what I'm saying here? And a lot of these Sicilians coming out of Brooklyn and they moving over there. To give you an example, freaking John Gotti, he is home in his state over there in Long Island or whatever the case may be there, or Staten Island, excuse me. You understand? And so you get a very different temperament of white folks when you go over into these areas, right? And so Ain't nobody trying to hit after Pete Davidson. That's really what it comes down to. And there's been rumors she been dating somebody here and there, whatever, whatever. But more importantly enough, I want to home in on this. Kanye West got a lot taken away from him, and a lot of people were making fun of him because his billionaire status got deduced by Adidas ripping apart from him. And now later on, just like I projected and I predicted, and many of y'all remember talking about, I said they're gonna have to come back with him because the pure simple fact they got a whole large overhaul of sneakers they have not sold. What you gonna do? Burn the inventory? That would be stupid. You understand what I'm saying? You're gonna burn like what? $22 million worth of inventory? Come on, get the heck out of here. Nobody does that, especially a company like Adidas has been in existence since during World War II. You understand what I'm saying? And if you guys don't know, Adidas and Puma are both companies started by brothers. But initially, the brothers started together Adidas. And once again, it hints back to what I was just saying about Tina Knowles. Towards their life, these two brothers hated each other so much, and some of it had to do with business, some of it had to do with popularity, some of it had to do with success, but these brothers did not even speak to each other. In fact, when one of them died, the other one didn't even come to his own brother's funeral. Hint this, Hitler himself endorsed Jesse Owens to wear the first pair of Adidas during the Olympics of that year that were held in Germany during SS reign. See, Adidas never told us about that. Here's another fun fact for you. Both brothers were enlisted as SS soldiers who invented Adidas. Did you know that? With that being said, it was kind of ironic that they got rid of Kanye West for saying some anti-Semitic shit when the whole base of the goddamn company is anti-Semitic. You understand what I'm saying? The brothers literally were SS soldiers. Now, if you don't believe me on this, you can go look it up, do your Google research, whatever the case may be. Guys, as you're coming in, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit up the Cashapp $sign STRINGERBELL80. I got something for y'all later on too. But listen, this is my thing here. This is my big thing. Kanye West, and I told you guys this before, and this is before he lost the money and everything like that. This is when times were good with him. Kanye West helped set up Kim's Skims line. It was his idea. All right? It was his idea. He helped facilitate it, and he took the least percentage out of the company as his stake. And this is why I told you guys before about record deals. You understand what I'm saying? Listen, give me $1,000 and 5 points on the album, or 10 points on the album or the single. Don't give me 100,000. Don't give me $1 million. No. Give me $1,000, just so we can say we facilitated something that sounded realistic on paper. Give me $1,000 and give me 5 to 10 points on the sales. You understand what I'm saying? I'm all set. I'm all set. I'm all set. I don't need nothing else. I don't need nothing else. Because if that single is successful, I know what's going to happen. That's going to triculate into, it could be 3 million, 4 million, 5 million, whatever the case may be. This is the way. You understand what I'm saying? So that's a little tidbit for you guys right there if you didn't know. Now, myself, they ain't worth every bit of. But I got a couple little writing credits and things like that. And times I helped out with people's projects or whatever. I wasn't smart enough to know that at the time. Had I done it, 2 of them singles blew the fuck up. You understand what I'm saying? You know who you are. I ain't got to say nothing. We're going to leave it at that. Point I'm getting at is here. Kanye West had 5% of the company's stake. Now, there's been a new evaluation that's come out. And because of the current price of Skims and the current worth of Skims, that $1 billion that Kanye West lost, oh well, guess how much it's worth now? In comparison, $4 billion. And this is a valuation. So let's say a little bit more, a little bit less. It could be $6 billion. A little bit less could be at the very least $2.5 billion. That's usually how the scope goes there, you understand? So I'm thinking to myself, wow. Then you accompany that with Adidas now re-partner with him, but silently. Silently. There won't be any advertisement and none needed. And just in the month of June, they had to donate some of the money to the Anti-Defamation League, which was $9 million. It's a very small percentage, or whatever the case may be. Another chunk of percentage, but not as high as Adidas, went to Kanye West himself, who was the creator. Okay, now if I had to do an evaluation based on the sales that they did and based on they had price points, and I'm figuring of these products being anywhere from $75 to $280, what happened was they sold a lot of money in a very short amount of time, and taking away the freaking sneakers from the public was probably one of the best things they did because it garnered up attention. Where are the Yeezys? They were asking. Well, Kanye is on his way and set to becoming a billionaire again. And a lot of y'all counted him out. I understand. A lot of y'all from different backgrounds. I have Jewish friends, but Kanye is on his way back up. And a lot of people thought it would be by music. I still suggest Kanye, you throw out another fucking album. Please throw out another album. I understand. I saw a little couple joints you were throwing out here and there, which I think of this, which I think of that. We know how we do it. You know what I mean? Pre-launch shit. But my point I'm getting at is hurry that album up. At least have a September release date ready. No later than November. But it's got to be September or November. You understand? And the reason I'm pointing out those two dates, because those will be appropriate for him to launch. Big Face Gary, if you see this, get him on the line, call him and tell him. September, no later than November. That's when we need the new album. At the very least, we need a new single that's purchase worthy. All right? Shout out to Big Face Gary, Big Face Gary show here on the line. Make sure y'all go check him out. Former Rockefeller Records. Another guy that's like myself. You know what I'm saying? We've been around this. We lived this. We were at these pivotal points when these things happened and transpired. You understand what I'm saying? In the industry. So these are people that you can listen to and watch and know that you're getting the word for. So shout out to Big Face Gary. Big Face Gary is one of the people that, few people that's consistently interviewed Keith Murray. So if you want some more examples of what Keith Murray said outside that art of dialect bullshit, go check Big Face Gary. You understand what I'm saying? He's building this channel up. And like I said, I always point out people that have actually been in the industry. You understand what I'm saying? Versus talking to somebody that's never been around in the industry, never worked in the industry, never known anything about the industry, but consistently online making guesses. You know what I'm saying? I'm not with that. Now, moving along, I'm happy for Kanye. And I know a lot of people are going to be mad at me for that or whatever the case may be, but Kanye's got kids to take care of. He's got a new wife he's got to take care of. And I don't think we should throw him out for what he said, because I'm going to take it from my point of view. My channel got flagged and I was unable to upload for exactly 2 weeks, I think it was, or a week or something like that. I was unable to upload because I put up a video of this Asian man who had explained that Kanye West might not have been wrong at that point, because he was pointing out all the names of these companies and who they were owned by. And let's say none of them said Jenkins, none of them said Morales, none of them said Gonzalez, none of them said Lewis, none of them said Marx. You follow what I'm saying here? All of them had Berowitz, Harowitz. I ain't gonna say too much because they get on me. You know what I mean? That's what it was. And I'm proud to see Kanye West is up on his own and he's building back up and he's coming back to fruition. And like I said, Big Face Gary, you know him in person. Call him up. Tell him, Big Face Gary, drop if you got something to drop in September, no later than November. It's going to compound with the new surge in sales that you got now. You understand what I'm saying? If you can, drop a new sneaker beforehand. And many of y'all don't remember. It's real funny. I said this. I said and I still got the post. I got to find the post, but it's still on here. If you scroll through my thing, you will see it. And this was before. This is when he was talking to everybody. Remember that thing when Kanye was going to talk to everybody? He was talking to small podcasters you had never heard of before, really giving them a boost. And so at the time, he had said, I said, homie, you need to stop talking to all these people. Big Face Gary, if you get him on the line, I said it just like this. I said, tell this nigga to go sit down. And just like that, poof, he went and sat down. Now, I'm not saying that's my doing. You understand what I'm saying? But let's just say I can reach out to certain people in the music industry, and I'm pretty sure they'll listen to me based on my track record. So it was ironic, but he went and sat down not even a couple of days later after that. And you didn't see Kanye. You can't even find Kanye nowadays. You understand what I'm saying? So maybe somebody reiterated the same words that was in his camp or around him or whatever the case may be. But we all come from this business. I've worked around these people. I've been at the concerts. I've been in the office buildings. You understand what I'm saying? 1540 Broadway, Arista, Atlantic Records, and finally at Interscope, which are all three distributors for Bad Boy Entertainment. So make no mince about it. I'm not an unaccomplished man. You understand what I'm saying? This point in my life from that pandemic up until now has been one of the worst moments in my life. And it's still to this day, I'm still trying to get up off of it. You understand what I'm saying? But I've got some issues. I don't front about them. And that's what I want to segue into, what's the same thing with me and Kanye. Many of y'all don't know this, and I just want to divulge because I like being honest here. You understand what I'm saying? I don't get into that BSing and pretending I'm something I'm not or whatever the case may be. My record shows, I've got people that speak about me. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't have to front. I have people in the industry that speak about me, and I'm very humble. If you didn't know me from that, you wouldn't even know that I haven't been around it. You think I'm just some regular Joe, and I like it that way. I always have liked it that way. Even when I was in the music industry, you would think I'm a regular Joe, and I don't know nobody. Even when I was dancing on MTV's Direct Effects with Sway, Tech, and freaking Funkmaster Flex and all of them, which I've thrown up pictures for that and everything like that. Shout out to Burnham and Murray that produced the show. Shout out to Terrence Clayton and Jamie that helped out with the show, whatever, as far as the producer credits are concerned. I did that for 2 years. We recorded sometimes 2 to 3 shows a day, back to back to back. I had been on there with everybody. Eve, I was on there when Ludacris first dropped. That's when he had Fantasy. I was on there with DMX. You can look up the episodes for yourself. Just look up Direct Effects. I spelled DIRECTEFX. You understand what I'm saying? And I guarantee you'll see me on the season 2 and season 3. I wasn't there for season 1. I was there for season 2 and season 3, the latter seasons. And I think it went in total, no, actually season 3 and season 4. It went totally for 4 seasons. So I'm on season 3 and season 4, as well as my man Uptown Sprone. Shout out to him. I brought him on the show. You understand what I'm saying? So we used to be right there in Midtown Manhattan at 1515 Broadway in Manhattan. There, I went there before for you guys or whatever the case may be, and filmed there, took y'all down memory lane and all that stuff. I've taken y'all to my old building at 1540 Broadway in Midtown Manhattan and showed y'all that too. You understand what I'm saying? And y'all seen the security guard come outside. There's been the same security guard there for almost 25 years and recognized me. You know what I'm saying? So, I make no lies up or whatever. But one of the things that me and Kanye have in common is, and I don't front, and a lot of people, and I think I owe this to you guys, or whatever his case may be. I suffer from PTSD, not severely, but bad enough. You understand what I'm saying? And I cope with it. I deal with it or whatever. And all this anxiety and stuff like that came on from that pandemic. Cope that with a couple years, not even a year before that, losing the love of my life that I've been with for 7 years. Coupling along that, 2 years before that, losing my job. So it was real hard for me. You understand what I'm saying? And it still is. And I deal with it. I'm in a happier place nowadays. So make no mistake about it. I get in my little bouts of depression or whatever. I get angry real quick sometimes. I'm learning how to be temperament with that. That's why you always see me with a cigarette. Sometimes I flip out on people or whatever the case may be. And I know some people, you guys, y'all see me on video, y'all be like, yo, why you doing like that? Because fuck that. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. This motherfucker's in my face stinking like a motherfucker asking me for a cigarette. You know what I'm saying? Leave me the fuck alone. I'm not in the mood. So that's one thing I'll say about Kanye and I that we share, whatever the case may be. So I hope I answered that question for you. As behest of and I don't know if that's divulging too much of my information, but as a behest to how can I say it? Let me share this real quick because I want to make sure everybody hears this. Because some people they just want to hear the meats and potatoes and all that about the stars or whatever. They don't care nothing about you. You see, I started talking about myself and they 2 or 3 logged out. That was like crazy, right? That's how much people care about you. They don't care about you. That's why I told you when you a man and you on here, it's like if I was a woman that was talking about this, they'd be, oh my God, oh my God. But there's so much hate and shit built up for men in society, no matter what color a race of man you are, what culture of man you are. There's so much hate built up for men. There's so much of this propriety of we must help women. and badger men type of mentality that goes on around here that is ridiculous. So if a man gets up here and he's honest, it doesn't mean anything. But if a woman gets up here, oh, she's telling her truth. Oh, she's a, you know what I mean? I'm up here telling you the honest to God truth. I think I'm one of the most transparent freaking podcasters that are. You understand what I'm saying? I show you what I do with my money. I show you how I move. I take you guys places. I thank you guys and put up separate videos or whatever the case may be. And as a result and an answer to that, this is what they do to you. We don't care. You understand what I'm saying? They'd rather be disrespected. That's what I think happens with a lot of these viewers. And I know that's a long segue that I just did right there, but that's what I'm really starting to think. I think that the subscribers, and I'm basing this off, and I'm not trying to use her name like that or whatever. And I said I wouldn't bring up her name in the advocacy rank, but I heard a story about a woman that took $3,000 from another woman. And I heard that woman speak. And when that woman was speaking, I listened directly to what she said. She said, I thought I was helping a sister out. Well, man, maybe you should help some brothers out. You understand what I'm saying? So, and I'm not talking about anyone. I'm talking about maybe you should help some Black and Latin men out. Because it seems to be this priority of helping just, and I saw I probably just lost some woman that was on here, whatever. It's okay. But there seems to be some priority to help women, and they're always damsels in distress. When really, a lot of these women are insidious things. I'll give you an example. Remember the glue girl a couple months back? This chick put glue in her hair and was able to raise $40,000 based on the sympathy and empathy of the culture. Remember the chick down in, I think it was Atlanta. She was a stripper. She climbed to the top of this high-ass pole, ended up falling off the pole doing one of her performances, cracked the teeth up. She was able to raise $20,000 within an matter of 24 hours, a stripper. There was another girl that did something goofy. I forgot what it was. She harmed herself doing some TikTok trick. She was able to raise $60,000 in a short amount of time. This chick that this lied to the whole country, Carrie Russell, she was able to raise $63,000. $63,000. Meanwhile, and she lied to everybody, including other women. And other women are badging on her. They did not freeze the account that she raised that $63,000. Which it goes to show you that a lot of these women can do things, and they've created, I'm not talking about all women, I'm talking about a certain brand of women, a certain type of Alcatia of women. They have created this environment here, not only on YouTube, but online, where you literally can't make any money if you're a man. But if you do the most insidious, silly, stupid stuff in the world, such as putting glue in your hair and thinking that's going to work out. You understand what I'm saying? This girl put Gorilla Glue in her hair. Gorilla Glue. This other girl was a stripper, and she fell off a pole while stripping, and she was able to collect $25,000. Oh, that's sister. This is not a woman from the Nation of Islam. And I really think y'all exaggerate that term a lot. You know, my ex is Ethiopian. She was born and raised Muslim. You understand what I'm saying? And regardless of what we went through or whatever the case may be, I never have got up on here and badgered her. I never talked bad about her, whatever. And I very well could, very easily. But I've never done that. But I know the difference between being around that family and being around other people that went to that mosque and the other ladies that surrounded her. I knew one thing that was different. That was a sister. These motherfuckers you're talking about are the riffraff, and y'all help them. That's the problem. Y'all financially support them. Y'all make sure they get thousands of dollars or whatever the case may be. And with this particular woman that just recently received $3K, which I will aforemention and not mention her name, she received $3,000 out of good measure from a woman. And this woman was willing to donate more. So maybe the calculator would have added up to around about $8,000, $9,000 after everything was said and done, right? And I'm not here to judge that woman. You understand what I'm saying? This woman messed it up and duped this woman. You understand what I'm saying? Just like Carrie Russell or Carrie Russell, whatever the freak her name is. We all of a sudden just stopped talking about it after she apologized, after she lied to everybody. She literally made up a story and lied on a child. She used a child, and nobody's condemning this chick. Nobody's going after her. And the $63,000 that was raised for her, she gets to keep. Y'all don't think something's funny about that? But podcasters like myself and many others that are men, we got to get up here and struggle and nag and be like, hey, can y'all throw $10, $15, $20 in the Cash App? Watch this. Guys, make sure y'all hit up the Cash App right now. $ STRINGERBELL80. I just want to see, why is it that men, and this is what I'm going to conclude this podcast on, why is it that men, and there's this message being put out there about other women, because I caught women's podcasts where they're talking about, we need to stop donating to these men. We're going to strictly make it women and da 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 da. And I blame some of the men too, because I've looked at the demographics and the analytics. 46% of my followers are men. Jinx, I want to give you a shout out. You donated $15 yesterday. Shout out to TMH Global. I said 150. You actually donated $50. I appreciate that. But where are the men helping other men? No. What we have is a whole score full of men. And see, one of the guys just dropped out when I said that. Isn't it funny? We have a whole school of men, right? That are very well in the position. Bro built like a 8 ball. See what I mean? Bro built like an 8 ball. Bro built like an 8 ball. I'm glad you're here. Stay right here, okay? The Wanderer. Hey, girl. Bro built like the Wanderer. You looking at me, girl? You want a kiss, girl? You want a boyfriend, girl? You see what I'm saying? This is the type of bitch-made men we got. I'm glad your punk ass logged out, too. This is the type of bitch-ass men that we have in the culture. You understand what I'm saying? Both black and Latin. Bitch-ass niggas. Because they've been raised by a nasty ass woman that had nothing on her mind but hating men. So now the same bitch ass motherfuckers, you still a bitch. For real. You still a bitch. Fuck out of here. I don't like you. You know what I'm saying? I don't even respect you as a woman. You know what I'm saying? Irregardless. Bro built like an 8 ball. What kind of fucking woman says some shit like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, we have a perplexity of people in both black and Latin culture, American culture, that put a prioritization on doing nothing but going after men. I just said that, and you just fucked it up even more. And we'll let you guys see what she said. Bro built like an 8 ball. I'm a woman. You probably still came from a shitty ass household. You know understand what I'm saying? You came from a shitty ass household, and you just fit the paradigm of what I said. So now you guys see, and you guys been seeing for a couple of days, this is what women do. I'm glad you came in. Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate you. The Wanderer. You know what the Wanderer means? That means somebody that goes and wanders around everybody's page and throws out little troll comments like a child. I can't even respect you as a grown person. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what I've been seeing more and more of with a lot of Latinos and a lot of blacks on here on this app. When it comes to someone you don't like, or you don't like what they said, or you don't care for what they say, or you don't want them to achieve or anything like that, and particularly your interest is put on men, there is a collective form of women online right now that honestly and truthfully, they are advocating for men not to receive donations. They believe that every man on here, if he's anything critical of any type of woman, if he says anything about a woman, if he says the B word or whatever. Mind you, these girls on every podcast, from Fresh to Fit to any other podcast, when you hear them talk, what's the first thing they say when they're referring to their band or their boyfriend? My nigga, if they're Latino. My nigga, but I can't call you a bitch. So I'm supposed to have respect for you, but you can't have respect for me. Look, bitch, we got company. My grandmother used to say that. Hold up now. We got company. Watch your mouth. You see what I'm saying? I've been to probably no less than probably 10 or 15 different podcasts, right? And I've heard women sitting up here telling their audience, do not donate to men. Make this all about us. This is how we beat them. That are just like real insidious sicko shit. And I'm like, yo, I've heard of everybody from that. What's that chick's name? Rebecca Lynn Pope, Pope, or whatever the fucking name is. Hold on 1 second, guys. Because out of these 15,000 plus followers I got, there's got to be way better people than this. I have people now that are subscribing to me just so they could throw gyps and gas or whatever. We got a lot of mentally ill people online nowadays. You just gotta recognize that. And I don't care if you donate or don't donate. I'm gonna get my message out regardless, because this is what's happening. We have a lot of women that are online nowadays that are taking jabs at men, telling their female audience don't donate to men. I've heard this now repeated more than 15 times on different podcasts. And if you're a podcaster, you've heard the same thing. You understand what I'm saying? They seem to somehow or another favoritize men that are gloating and simping for them, though. If you're gloating and you're simping and you're brown nose, and they love you then. But if you're a guy that talks like me in a traditional fashion, that's heterosexual or whatever the case may be, and I'm not saying anything against anybody, for God's sake, I was on here, you know what I'm saying? I haven't even got into that yet. I'm going to talk about Jess Hilarious in a minute because I want to bring that up. But I just wanted to get this out because this is a perfect segue for it. It's unfortunate that this is the thing that's going on here, but would you be still influenced and still interested? And it seems to be their target is because they're never talking about white men. They're only talking about men of color. And I can take you to 18 different websites, right? Excuse me, pages right now, right? Where you literally have white men and white women talking all kinds of despicable, nasty shit about Black and Latin women specifically, night after night after night after night. If many of y'all are familiar with that one podcast, her name is Vanessa something. I forgot what her name is. Every other night, if not every night, that this woman is online, this white woman, and I'm talking about pale, pasty ass bitch. Every night that this woman is online, she has something negative to say about the Latin community or something negative to say about Black women in general or the Black community. But she specifically points out and patterns her conversation about all these Latin women. What do? They just sit at home and have babies all day. That's always her little diatribe. Then she says the same thing about Black women. Are all Black women just victims? I mean, you're making this amount of money and da 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 da. She sounds very jealous hearted, to be honest with you. And I look at this pale, pasty bitch, because that's what she is. I got that terminology from a white woman, matter of fact, an Italian white woman that I used to date. Shout out to my ex, Katie. I mention her all the time. A pasty, pale bitch that she is. This pasty, pale bitch with no barely any features in her face makes it a night upon night thing to talk about immigrants, to talk about Latin women and how many babies they are and ain't having. Bitch, maybe you can't have no babies. Maybe the womb is dried up at 30 something. This is a young broad. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't find her having any lack of donations. In fact, we've got Latinas and Black women in there donating to her and aiding her up. So, what are you ladies trying to do? Y'all trying to make the whole donation process about women only? Is that what it is? That's some weird shit right there. That's some real chauvinist, fucking backwoods, oppressionable shit right there, right? But you want me to, at the same time, support you. You want me at the same time to speak highly of you. How can I speak highly of my enemy? You understand what I'm saying? Because at that point, you put yourself in a man's thought mind. At that point, you put yourself in position to be my enemy, not my ally, not my friend, not someone I should look out for, whatever the case may be. Case in point, you guys remember about 2 weeks ago, I was at the local CVS, and you heard this out this woman's mouth. This woman did not even know me. You understand what I'm saying? I want to highlight that. This woman did not even know me. And you won't find very many men that do this nowadays, but I did it as an example because I was like, yo, if I don't say something right now, many of y'all, if y'all my long-term followers, hold on one second, let me share this. You don't even have to be my long-term followers. You could be one of my new followers and you know this. I went into that same CVS and I went there to get a drink because it was hotter than Jesus Christ that day. So I went in there to get me a drink or whatever. I didn't even know she was going to be in there. I didn't go in there with the intentions, but when I walked in and I seen her, you understand what I'm saying? I didn't know how she felt. So what my intentions were to do, because prior to that, 2 days, 3 days before that, when I was in there, it was this brawly ass white dude. And y'all know me, I'm fucking stupid. The biggest mistake people make with me is, oh, he's small, he ain't gonna do nothing. Trust me, I will fuck you up. I'm fast as shit. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm stronger than I look. I proved this a million times. I've always been this size. I know how to work with it. I've been around guys that are boxers. I've been around guys. I went to a gym for the longest. It was Muay Thai. I know where to hit you at or whatever. You may think you can beat me, but you're going to be quickly surprised at how quick I hit you and where I hit you at. If it come down to hands. I don't particularly like hands, as y'all can see. I prefer, you understand what I'm saying? Always been like that since 14. That put aside, I went in there and there was this big, brawly ass motherfucking, I don't know what he was. He looked like he was maybe Italian or Greek or something like that or whatever. And this girl, she wasn't little for per se, but she wasn't small. She wasn't big either. You understand what I'm saying? And I didn't put on camera in the video, but you'll see she's rather tall. And he just kept throwing his hand in her face as he's talking to her, and he's throwing his chest out or whatever. And this motherfucker's mad because he can't ascertain a discount on some coupons he had. So I'm already thinking in my mind, what grown ass motherfucking man gonna sit there and argue with a girl about some fucking coupons? I can see if it was two women arguing about some coupons. This is a grown ass motherfucking man arguing about some coupons. So that already let me know this motherfucker broke. You got $80 worth of shit on the counter and you worried about some motherfucking coupons. So I walk over to him after I heard him talking for a few minutes and throwing his fist out and throwing his hand. I thought he was going to hit her. That's what I really thought. So I walked up on him. I moved her back from me because this is the register, right? Here's him. This is how close he was. I moved her back with my arm. She was surprised as hell I moved her. That's why I tell you I'm stronger than you I think I am. I moved her ass back with my one arm. She'll tell you the same fucking story as she did on camera. I moved her ass back with my one arm. I stood in front of her. I said, yo, talk to me like that. And then that's when you saw the bitch come up out of him. You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm already planning to hit this nigga right in the fucking nose and just drop him. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, this shit right here, oh, you going down. This shit right here, or this shit right here. You going down. Always aim for them three right here. Right here, right here, excuse me. Right here, right here, right here. You going down. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know why you going down? Because there's nerve endings right there. Those nerve endings lead to your brain. Those 3 points more than anybody. Don't matter what side it is. Right here, and right here. I learned that in Muay Thai. So I knew for a fact as soon as I hit this motherfucker, he's going down. He's going down. If you need to know specifically, right there on 30th Street, Midtown Manhattan, you go right down there and ask the guy 30th and 8th Avenue between 8th and 9th Avenue. All right, go right down there and ask him. There's a parking lot garage. It's right across the street. It's right behind freaking what the hell's the name? Actually, one street behind Penn Station. No, Madison Square Garden. Excuse me, that's a Penn Station. Madison Square Garden. No, that is Penn Station. Penn Station, Madison Square Garden, whatever. So one block behind there. So you go one block and then another block or whatever. There'll be a bar that's called Blarney Stone. You make that left right there where Blarney Stones is, and you go right up. The dojo or gym or whatever you want to call it is right there. I was there and I did that for about, 6-7 months or whatever. You learn a lot of shit because those guys are fucking experts there. And those guys, they compete and all that shit. And the way I got in there was the guy that was actually I just have a gift of gab. So I always get up conversations. One day I was going by there and I just kept looking in the window day after day after day, seeing what they were doing. The guy said, yo, come in, man. I'll give you 30 days for free. Do you know what I mean? And then I was like, yo, I can't pay to be in here for $250 a month. You understand what I'm saying? He was like, don't worry about it. I got guys like you I do that with. So I stayed there month after month after month. I ain't go there every day, but I went there at least 2-3 times out of the week. That was a while back ago, but I never forgot none of that shit. And they taught me that. Hit a motherfucker right here, here, here. They always going down because of the nerve endings. You understand what I'm saying? These are receptors that go all the way through your brain, the back of your neck, all that shit. And it renders you unconscious. You understand? That's why you see some people when they get hit, they fall right the fuck down and pass the fuck out because there's nerve endings and receptors in the brain. Anyway, long story short, I throw myself in front of this motherfucker and I'm like, yo, so say that shit to me. He's like, yo, man, what are you talking about, man? What's going on? You know, now he a victim. I said, oh, now you a victim, right? I said, yo, man, if you throw your hand in her face one more motherfucking time, I'm going to lay you the fuck out. Everybody in that store heard me. You understand? So at the end and the culmination of all this or whatever the case may be, I go back in there 2-3 days later because the girl, I think she was just upset. So she took off and she was like, yo, if anybody's looking for me, I'm in the back or whatever. You could tell she was getting ready to cry because she was really distraught about that. This girl, like 27, 28, you know. And so she went back in the back. So I went down there just to apologize to her because I thought I made her nervous by doing that. You understand what I'm saying? Because she had somebody else take over the register at that point, and it was a dude. And he ain't do that with that dude either. He calmed his ass down. That's why I say he was pussy. This is the type of dude, he'll be at home and beat on his chick and shit like that. Now he think he can come out in society and beat on or verbally be aggressive to other women and shit. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of motherfuckers like that. You know what I mean? Like, nigga, you ain't gonna do that with a man. Don't try to do that with me, pussy. You understand what I'm saying? That's what women should be telling these motherfuckers. But anyway, I started recording our conversation because I was like, yo, just in case it take off, and she say I did this, I did that, or whatever. I was perceiving anything that happened based on the fact of the temperament that goes along today online and on social media, where it's this man-hating fucking stance, or everybody's talking about, oh, you don't protect women, and all that shit that goes around or whatever. So that's what I was impending I would get. I got told the opposite of that. The Latina girl in there, as I walked out the door, she said, yo, that's a real, she says it on camera so y'all can hear, and I'll share it back in the community section so y'all can hear it for yourself again. She says at that time, that's a real man. You know what I'm saying? He came to help a girl out, whatever, and she was thanking me. And it's all on camera. I'm not making nothing up or whatever. And it was one of the best feelings I had in the world. But the thing that fucked me up is the general consensus, whether it's through the donation process, whether it's just pure temperament or whatever, ain't the same for me. You understand what I'm saying? Matter of fact, if a chick saw another chick beefing with me, more times out of 10, she would stay out of it or laugh at the situation or ask me, what did you do? Or some shit like that. You get what I'm saying? And it's kind of scary. And so that's why I recorded it. I left it up. You understand? This happened this was 3 weeks ago, wasn't it, guys? Like 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that. But y'all heard it for yourself. I ain't making nothing up. I don't know that girl. You understand? So I'm thinking to myself, and the way I'm segueing this is because I'm looking at it from this perspective. I'm saying to myself, at one tone, you got women out here talking about, yo, defend us, defend us, defend us. And I get where y'all coming from because a lot of these punk ass, pussy ass men, when they see y'all in a fight or something, they won't break it up. They won't get involved. They see some dude beating your ass. That's why Monica had to jump off stage the other night in Detroit and come to the aid of some chick that was getting smacked by some dude or whatever. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like dudes don't go upside to his head. Y'all know my position. I don't think you should beat on a chick. But if a chick coming at you, I live in the New York City tri-state area at the same time, a chick coming at you with a knife, a gun, or something like that, at that point, yes, do what you got to do. What you do is what you do. You understand what I'm saying? Because now you put yourself in a position. But she just coming at you with fists, don't worry about it. Yoke her ass up, put it down, sit it down, hold it down if you possibly can until she calmed down or whatever. Most of the time they will after a little while after they've been in that bear hug or that yoke. You understand what I'm saying? Throw that Charlie horse up on her, grab a fucking arm like that, and you know what I mean? She'll calm the fuck down. That I believe in. But beating a motherfucker like a dude, I never believe in that shit. You understand? And I'm not sitting here saying I'm perfect or whatever. And I had my situations before. You understand? But in New York City, in the New York City tri-state, man, these girls got mace, pistols, knives, razor blades, all kinds of shit. Back in the day, the girls in the Latin Queens and all that, they used to wear razor blades in their hair. You understand what I'm saying? So if a chick, well, I'll speak for my homegirl Poochie. They used to have freaking razor blades. They would tape them in their hair. So if a bitch, the first thing a bitch do is go for a girl's hair, whatever, you will slice your whole shit up. You understand what I'm saying? I know homegirls of mine that used to rob motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Like, it's real Alice, it's a real story. They weren't my best friends or nothing like that, but I knew of it. You couldn't help but avoid knowing of it. You understand? So it is what it is. Did I join in? Hell fucking no. That's not what I do. You know what I mean? I wasn't raised that way. But yeah, some people do. So I just want to ask this question. As you saw that woman come in here and say, bro built like an 8-ball. You came in here in my chat room to say that to me, but you don't know half of the shit I do for advocate for women. That if you go to this channel, because a lot of times one thing y'all hear me say is, yo, this bitch this bitch that, because I'm not talking to your Elka woman. If y'all remember, I'm going to put it up shortly after that. Y'all heard me several times say, stop letting these whores be in the same category as women that just went and graduated from college. I said that a million times. I have sisters. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want my sister matched up with a stripper. You see what I'm saying? So what brought me to the next topic is this. And I say this again, guys. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit the Cashapp up. $STRINGERBELL80. Because this shit is ridiculous over here. And the amount of women that's out here nowadays and just bashing on men like it's this sport or something like that. Hey girls, let's get together and go bash on some men. I hate men, don't you? Yeah, let's all eat some vajay. Yay. Now, speaking of that shit, my last topic, and I want you guys to go down below if you're seeing this on the rebroadcast. I want you to go down below in the description box, and it'll also be in the pinned comment. I want you guys to go and check out this. The other day, I received a little backlash because of the video I put up with this girl. What's her name? Jess Hilarious, right? And a lot of people said, I side with Jess Hilarious or whatever the case may be. And I hear you. This is the point, right? I said, I think Jess Hilarious said what she said, not because she was attacked. She said what she said about that LGBTQ community. She said what she said because of some other reason. And that reason was this. And I truthfully and honestly believe this. I will not move away from this. I believe she said what she said because of the multiple times she has been accused of actually being a man. I'm going to say it one more time for you. The multiple times, underline that, multiple times, that Jess Hilarious has been called a man. Now, before I get into that, guys, make sure y'all hit up the Cashapp, $STRINGERBELL80 is in the description here. It's also in the title here on this podcast, and it's also will be in a pinned comment after this you see in the rebroadcast. So as I promised, I went and found a video, and actually I found two of them. But I'm going to put the other one up after this to prove my point. See, people that got mad at me, and it was many of different comments that got retracted. People got mad at me because what I said about Jess Hilarious, and I guess this is pure simple fact, I put the video up, and I added some commentary to it later on or whatever, and I said, well, people have been saying now for years that Jess Hilarious looks like a man. And people got mad at me, some girls got mad at me, or whatever the case may be, and they said, I stand with Jess Hilarious. I mean, you stand whoever the fuck you want to stand with, I don't care. You understand what I'm saying? You want to rock with them, that's cool. You know what I mean? But the fact remains of this. We have Jess Hilarious herself now admittedly saying on her own accord, that men thought she was a man. And I don't have it just one time. I don't just have just her saying it. But we got we got Charlemagne the God saying it. He said, yo, I hate that. I hate when they do that. We got DJ Envy laughing at this broad as she says it. Then I got a separate video of the same thing. And in this one, she's telling the story of how some dude thought she was a man or a transsexual and wanted to fly her out. You understand what I'm saying? But when I put it up, I'm attacking her. And that's what got confused. People thought this little segment that I put up was attacking Jess Hilarious. I wasn't attacking Jess Hilarious. I said I don't fucking like Jess Hilarious. I don't find Jess Hilarious fucking funny. That doesn't mean that I want her to die and, you know what I'm saying, or some shit like that, or go away or lose her career or some goofy shit like that. I don't care what happens with Jess Hilarious. Jess Hilarious is not hilarious. She's not funny. She's not, none of that to me. You understand what I'm saying? And that's just from my position. I don't find her funny. You may find her funny, and if you like her, that's fine. That's great for you. You know what I'm saying? Go support her, buy her products, subscribe to her page, do what you must. You know what I mean? Make sure I get some more people in here. I have to get more of an, there's two things I got to do. I just want to say this. I have to get more of an intelligent audience, and I have to get more of an opulent audience, because you see like that comment I just had right there, bro built like an 8-ball, and goofy shit like that. I don't like people like that. I don't like people like that. People like that are just like, ugh, you know what I mean? But anyway, I didn't just try to tutor anybody for going to fuck with Jess Hilarious, anything like that or whatever. A couple people also pointed out the fact that she got removed from Power 105. So what did I say? Somebody wrote that in the comment. What you do? You called up in the Power 105? I could call up the Power 105. I know people at Power 105. Did I do that? No, I didn't. Maybe some of the words based on some of the people that watch me in the industry and out of the industry and they heard what I said. Hey, it's a possibility. But did I do it? No, I didn't. You know what I'm saying? I could sit on that. I didn't do it. There's nobody up at Power 105 or iHeart right now that can say, I personally called up there or called somebody I know in the industry and reached out and said, yo, get her off the air for a couple of days. I suggested that. I said, she needs to take a break and sit her down. Had a man said the same words, had the same ferocity, y'all would have been calling for his freaking execution out here. You see what I'm saying? See how this double entendre works? We have to formally oppress, now trying to oppress other people. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not trading one oppressor for another. I don't believe in oppression either way it goes. So if you click the video down in the description box right now, you're going to find a video from me. And I compiled it together today. And what you'll find in that video is Jess Hilarious sitting with someone named Lavon Cox. Now, Lavon Cox, I can't believe I'm saying that name like that. But Lavon Cox is freaking an actress. And believe it or not, she used to be a man. She fits right into this category. Now, I don't know if this was a pre-recorded, what's the name? Because like I explained to y'all, we was on Direct Effects. We would record 3 shows in a day, at the minimum 2 shows in a day, and then they would air a week from then, 2 weeks from then, whatever. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes they would appear a month from then. So I don't know if this was something she had did and they, Power 105 and iHeart, they threw it out there to try to, you know what I'm saying, clean the floor with it. But in the video, she says and reiterates, oh yeah, I've been mistaken as a man several times. Oh, I can't make this shit up. I can't make this shit up. I can't make this shit up. And Lavon Cox, if you really want to know what she looked like as a man, there's a series that's called Oz that used to come on HBO. You can go right there. You can see what she used to look like. This was a man. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I'm not judging Lavon Cox. I've seen her in other acting roles on different things. One of them would be Orange is the New Black. She was on that show. So on Orange is the New Black, you see Lavon Cox on that show, and now she's transitioned into a transsexual. Bravo to her. You understand what I'm saying? But on the show Oz, she was a man. And this is who Jess Hilarious is talking to, okay? And so she says, and I quote, Lavon Cox says this, who formerly was a man. She says, oh, a lot of black women get upset about that. And what she was quoting to was that sometimes they get mistaken for a man. Now, this 2 days ago, we even had to have that video, I said the same shit. I said there's a lot of girls out here, not because they naturally look like men. No, in fact, I think some of these girls are fucking beautiful without all that shit on. But because these girls are competing with other fucking women, not men's attention like it used to be one time in this country. They're competing with other women, and all of them pretty much look like doppelgangers of each other. Have you noticed most of the girls nowadays that are online on Instagram, all these broads look alike? They got the same hairstyle, they got the same poses, they got the same movements, they got the same quotes, they got the same motherfucking advice, all that shit. They got the same influence, they take pictures at the same fucking locations. You understand what I'm saying? You go on right now, you can find at the minimum 10,000 girls on Instagram that have taken a picture at the same place. Just put in India and put in India on fucking Instagram, and I guarantee you no less than 10,000 girls will pop up with a picture in the same location. Put in the fucking Alpha Tower. You will see over 10,000 girls have a picture in front of the same shit. Now, I ain't saying there ain't gonna be some guys there or whatever, but Lavon Cox fucking pointed out what I said 3 days ago. She said a lot of black girls are getting mad when they hear that. What? They're being told they look like transsexuals. And the reason a lot of you chicks are being told you look like transsexuals is because you're over accessorizing yourself. Now, this is coming from someone that turned into a transsexual, and she's sitting there talking to Jess Hilarious. There's another interview that I'm going to put up here for you shortly within the same diaphragm where she says the same shit. She says, yeah, dudes are mistaking me for being a tranny. So maybe that means you should put some effort into trying to look a little bit more natural. Don't be sorry, ho. Be careful. In the words of Money Mike, don't be sorry, ho. Be careful. And no matter how much they try to fix this broad up, how many wigs they try to give her, how many sew-ins they try to give her, how much they cake her face with makeup, how many fake fucking eyebrows they put on their fucking head, these are all the same accessories that transsexuals need to look like women. So naturally speaking, if they're over accessorizing themselves in an effort to look like a woman, common sense would fucking tell you if you're over accessorizing yourself and you are a woman and lacking in the natural beauty that you many possess, maybe it's just a fucking notion of mine, but bitch, maybe they're justified in calling you a motherfucking transsexual. Your chick's out of fucking line. And every chick that wrote something on my page saw about, oh, she right, that's right. Okay, anatomically, yeah, she's a woman. But appearance-wise, and I'm talking about aesthetically, you look like a transsexual. You understand what I'm saying? And she's not the only one. Because Lavon Cox, who's actually a transsexual, and I made sure I rewinded it. So when you hear the video, which is right in the description box, you can go check it out right now. Click that link. It'll take you right to the video. I'll put it up there. If you can't do that, just hit my emblem, hit videos, and you'll see the video for yourself. It's a very short video. It's a minute long. I composed it down because I want y'all to see it quick. Boom, be out. This is what y'all arguing about. When the woman that's advocating this shit, now what's my point of this, y'all asking, right? My argument was this. It wasn't that Jess Hilarious said what she said about that community, about that crowd, because she was provoked. I'll say it again, and now you have her sitting down at an interview, and I've got it clipped, I've got it there compiled, where she says out of her own mouth while talking to a transsexual woman that, yeah, a lot of black women have that problem being mistaken for being transsexuals. It's not just black women, it's Latin women too, and some white women. I pointed out Justina Valentine that's on fucking Wildin' Out. She's Italian, and everybody says she looks like a transsexual because of over accessorizing. You understand what I'm saying? This guy on point. I thought I was the only one that thought that they look like trans. See, that hair hat looks ridiculous. There you go. It looks crazy. And a lot of these girls don't have to use that shit because they're naturally fucking beautiful. But what you have is these girls are not in competition any longer to gain a spouse, to gain a husband, to gain somebody they love. They are now in competition with each other. And every last one of these broads look exactly like each other. So for all that shoot back and all that fucking feedback and blast back y'all tried to give me for just pointing out the obvious that, and I said it the day before yesterday, I said, listen, ladies, you might want to cut down on some of the over accessorizing, the ridiculously fucking blonde wigs, especially when they have the blonde shit on and it's just too much and you're like ultra dark skin or it doesn't fit your features. Some of y'all look good with it. I'll give you that. Ain't one or two of y'all still look feminine. But it's a point where your attitude and your personality is so fucking masculine, and then and that's another thing that hurts you girls too. A lot of you girls are very fucking masculine. Jess Hilarious is a very masculine ass fucking woman. Her voice is masculine. The way she talks is masculine. She talks very fucking forceful. This is not my description of a woman I would want to lay in bed with. I don't like masculine women. You understand what I'm saying? That's a big. All the women that I've had have been very feminine women. My ex was the most feminine. She was born and raised Muslim. You understand what I'm saying? She was born to not be subservient, but to be fucking, how can I say it, feminine. You understand what I'm saying? No guy wants no fucking masculine ass broad. Hey, baby, what you doing? You want to lay in the bed with me? You want to give me some D tonight? This is how a lot of these girls talk nowadays, and it's fucking outright just pretty fucking scary to me. You understand what I'm saying? This is like really fucking scary. That if my dating options include a broad that talk just like me, or have y'all been around the city and y'all hear a chick that got the same octave as you do? You understand what I'm saying? So it seems like two motherfucking niggas talking to each other. It's not reality. It's going to wake them up as you put them in a coma, which is the opposite of what knowledge is designed to do. Exactly. I can agree more. You know, and these are the same women that are on some of these blogs here on the app here, and they're preaching to women. If many of y'all been has to it or not, And the reason a lot of you men have seen, unless you in the simp market or you in the doo-doo market over there with the motherfucking suckers, you understand what I'm saying? What you're seeing is a lot of men are complaining about the same thing. Why am I seeing my donations depreciate? And then you have men on here that are making thousands of dollars and they're not picking up the slack. And really, that's who the women are speaking to, those motherfuckers. So if you on here, I've seen guys on here that are making $1,000 a night, $2,000 a night, and they talking way less than I am. They talking about stuff that's way less informative. They're giving this a surface area of what the conversation is, or whatever the case may be. And some of these guys are taking in $2,000, $3,000 a week. I've seen some of these guys on here that built a whole fucking channel on bashing a particular woman, and women are right behind donating to these men as they bash another woman. I can't make this shit up. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm trying to realize, and guys, if you'd like to hit my cash app, it's $STRINGERBELL80. Let's see if I can get $40 before I get up off of here. We got 25 more minutes because I really want to get more into this. You know what I'm saying? Where my supporters at? You understand? Or at least share me to somebody that's opulent or got some money. You understand? If you ain't got it, share me to somebody that does have it. Do that. The men won't even do that for themselves. Meanwhile, I had men coming on that same post talking about, well, I side with Jess, she right. I'm telling you, a lot of these boys out here, because they've been raised by women solely by themselves, a lot of these boys is bitches themselves. So them and their mama, two trifling ass bitches. Two trifling ass bitches in one household. You understand what I'm saying? The amount of feminine ass men out here that have never had a man up around them, never had no uncles to throw a fucking football with, any of that shit is fucking well beyond out of control. These bitch ass niggas that you see outside in the streets nowadays, these motherfuckers walk. I had a motherfucker walk past me yesterday and look at me and jump on his phone like a fine bitch at the club. I'm like, nigga, I'm a boy. You can't look at me and see I'm a boy. Why are you sitting over here trying to impress another boy? In my first time listening to Devin, I subscribed immediately. I'm in corporate and I see beautiful young black women, some area new hires, and I won't look at them twice after seeing how they are. I guarantee you, a lot of these chicks, and I want to see what your what's the name is too. Hold on one second. Carry themselves. Exactly. They carry themselves like crazy. It's like it's the most masculine shit I've ever seen. And now you have some of these same, and this is funny that you mentioned that because I've spoken about this before. You have a lot of women that have their own YouTube pages, own TikToks and everything like that. In fact, I'm going to throw up a clip of this girl that actually got fired from MTA from a job that was making her $90,000 a year because she happened to hop online doing her TikTok when she was at work, for one. And then two, she lied about her salary. You understand what I'm saying? She said she made $130,000 when she only really made $90,000, which ain't a big deal to me, but she just wanted to make herself look better. But the other material she had uploaded was very anti-male. It was very self-hating. I think a lot of these girls, personally, in my opinion, if I see a dark-skinned black girl and her eyes are set on getting a white man, like you got girls that got pages set up like this, like dedicated to, like Rebecca Lynn Pope, she's one of them, that's dedicated to finding you a white man. If you black and Latina, come here, we'll find you a white man. You know what I'm saying? They have courses and shit like that they want you to pay for, how to attract you a white man. Mind you, these broads have grown up in the fucking high rises. You understand what I'm saying? And these girls will have regular 9 to 5. Some will be in corporate America or whatever the case may be. And the whole time you don't know, but her ideology sticks with her in the workplace. So little do you know, but no one's to you, your coworker has a whole channel, your black coworker, Latina coworker has a whole channel dedicated not only to hating men, but hating men of color specifically. And you've been working with this chick for the past 15, 16, 20 years. This is why I tell a lot of employers, and I always say it, you need to start putting more focus on these motherfuckers' social media. You really do. Some of these women are some of the nastiest, most insidious women you ever meet in your fucking life. And if you put emphasis on their fucking shit, you'll see. So the latest trend I've seen now, and I'm saying that this is from, because I've seen some of these women make the mistake and they'll actually have uploads of them at work. You understand what I'm saying? And like this girl did. And so you're able to see that they work in a corporate environment, or at the very least semi-corporate or semi-professional environment, and you'll be amazed the shit that they say, and they go undetected for years. Some of them, you understand what I'm saying? Online, they go undetected for years because their employers never look at their fucking employees. And I think there was a time in this world, but let's see, a lot of employers are scared to lose employees nowadays too. And I understand that based on the market that we're in. I understand the demographics and the analytics exclusively. I worked in marketing for 17 years. You understand? Under one of the best vice president of Bad Boy Entertainment, Sean Press. So make no mistake about it, I've always been in the marketing. It's hard to have it work for me. I know how to do it for other people, but it's hard for you to do it to you. It's like looking in the mirror and saying, okay, what am I gonna do with myself? You know what I mean? It's hard. And I find it increasingly hard, but I'm starting to be able to do it because my mind has been set to only promoting other people, if that makes any sense. Anybody that's ever been in the marketing, you probably know what I'm talking about because I've heard that resonate from other people's voices. These men and women, I want to throw men in it too, because there's a lot of men that are doing it too, that fuel the simp market, that take a chick from not having a dime in her pocket. All right, baby, get on OnlyFans. I got you $10 for this month. Matter of fact, he go an extra 1,000. I watched another video when a nigga pulled up in a motherfucking McDonald's. There was 3 guys behind him. You understand what I'm saying? They didn't look like they was doing as well as this girl. He chose to give the girl $10,000 in the motherfucking McDonald's line. So I'm asking myself, where are the men supporting other men at? Because what's going to happen in a moment, so many of you opulent men are not bringing up other men. And this is the same thing that happened in the 60s and 70s. This is why you're at where you're at right now. You had people that were from those Black power movements, Latin power movements, and all that shit or whatever. I mentioned how the Puerto Rican Alliance, they climbed to the top of the Puerto Rican People's Movement. They climbed to the top of the fucking Statue of Liberty and put the Puerto Rican flag up there. You understand what I'm saying? On top of the Statue of Liberty. How gangster is that shit, nigga? You know what I'm saying? And all 3 of them hit Rikers and got years for that. Have you seen the trend of updo? They barely have any hair to put together and try to copy the dude. Yeah, I seen it. I made fun of it the other night. I was like, yo, Jess Hilarious. Listen, I put it in the video too, so y'all got to go check the video out. Jess Hilarious ain't got no hair. All right? I'm trying to tell y'all, she ain't got no hair. But he said, it's all about image, no substance behind it. They have no training quality that should be developing. It's scary, man. It's scary because these are the girls that you're inviting into corporate America with these mentalities a lot of times. A lot of these girls are educated. Don't get me wrong. I graduated from college, so I know. I went to school and college with a lot of these girls. I'm talking about school, regular school, primary school, and I went to college with a lot of these girls that were like this. Absolutely hated men. And a lot of it stemmed from their family. A lot of it stemmed from their estranged fathers and other cases. Fast forward 5 or 10 years, now you got this chick, she's got a son, but she's online talking about a lot of these girls have sons. That's another thing that's amazing to me because you're preaching to women how to treat your son in the future, you dumb motherfucker. If you're sitting online and you're telling women to hate men, then you're teaching these women and a potential mate for your son that you have singly by yourself how to hate them. And then on the other spectrum, they coattail and take the boys and make them into so much bitch that these motherfuckers get a knife planted right in their back and they'll still stay there. They'll still stay there. Oh, she ain't mean it like that. She still love me. You motherfuckers got to be out of your mind. But what I just wanted to focus on real quick before I get out of here is, ladies, stop this new trend that y'all doing when y'all creating these posts and telling women that outrightly have uncles. A lot of these women have fathers. A lot of these women have sons. A lot of these women have brothers. How dare you sit up there and make full fucking 2-3 hour podcasts and keep on reiterating to women, don't donate to these men on Facebook. If they say this, don't donate to them. If they say the B word, don't donate to them. Okay, so fellas, from now on, if you hear a woman refer to her mate or her man or her husband as, that's my nigga, cut that bitch off. Don't donate a fucking dime, but you ain't gonna do it because some of you simple-minded, never could get any pussy-ass type motherfuckers. That's how you motivate yourself. That's how you navigate through life. Let me give you an example. I could walk into any bar right now. Any bar. You understand what I'm saying? Any bar in the tri-state area. And I can go in there, and if I talk to the minimum of 10 girls, at least 2 of them, at the very least, I can get their phone number. Out of those 2 girls, at least 1 of them I can sleep with. I guarantee you. Tried, tested, revolved. You understand what I'm saying? Some motherfuckers, they lead with their pocket because they don't have no looks. They don't have no swag. Their mama raised a bitch. You understand what I'm saying? That's the other bitch. That's why I told you these is 2 lousy bitches. Their mama raised a bitch. And I can't stand, I tell y'all all the time, I can pull out of the air when I meet a motherfucker that was raised solely by a woman. They do womanly fucking things. They act like a woman. They carry themselves like a woman. I had no less than 5 motherfucking men walk past me yesterday or in my circumference when I was at the fucking grocery store. And these motherfuckers walked past me and tried to garner my attention as grown ass fucking men. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, nigga, you either homosexual, which I ain't got no problem with them folks. If you are, that's what it is. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't have them flirt with me and all that shit before, whatever. Usually they go on about their fucking business. You understand what I'm saying? Like the gay dude, this is the New York City tri-state. They'll do that. And then they go on about their business until they feel out, okay, he ain't like that. You understand what I'm saying? But then it's the other fucking type. This is the bitch raised motherfucker. You understand what I'm saying? And that motherfucker is part of the LBGTQ community. He got more balls. Try one of the motherfuckers from the LBGT in New York City. Go up. I dare you to walk up to 4 of them and be like, fuck all y'all punk motherfuckers and see what happens. They will jump your ass. And worst case scenario, they might pull out on you. Or worst case scenario, I see motherfuckers sliced up and down like a fucking jigsaw from one of these motherfuckers. You understand what I'm saying? Go fuck around with somebody in LBG. Them motherfuckers prepared because they know what's coming. No, these are motherfuckers that were solely raised by an antagonistic bitch that hated men. No, lady, you made the mistake. You gave your vajay up at the club that night to motherfucking Tyrone, who had just, or Mario, who had just been out on parole for the 3rd or 4th fucking time. And now you want to complain to us about your fucking choices without a condom, you lousy bitch. I'm ugly, but my confidence is 19 out of 10. I ain't talking about you. I'm just talking about in general. There are some men that lead by their pocket. And what I mean by that is these men, and I met tons of them before. They can't get women with their sheer personality. Even I know ugly motherfuckers is funny. That's your personality. I know ugly motherfuckers that got swag. That's their personality. I know ugly motherfuckers, not so ugly people that are big dudes. You understand what I'm saying? I'm talking about real big dudes, talking about like 250, 350. Y'all see me on camera. I hang with a lot of them. All my whole crew, everybody's bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? I've always been this size. I'm always going to be this size. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. That's why I know how to work with it. You understand? That's why a lot of people make the mistake. And you think, y'all just see me do bags on a fucking brick wall. And I did repetitions of 90. And the video's still up here. And somebody challenged me. It was like, you don't do no bricks off a wall. I say, man, I used to go to Muay Thai classes. This is the first thing they taught us how to do bags. You understand? I could do them in the air too, as y'all can see. Y'all see anything touching? And so your arms have got to be like this, straight square. Don't do this shit. I need to see that. You see what I'm saying? So don't make no mistake. I'm not just sitting talking. So what I'm saying is, I know guys that are 350, 400 pounds, right? And these guys can still pull a chick because they got swag with that 350, that 250. You understand what I'm saying? Then there's these sucker bitch raised motherfuckers that the mama taught them, oh, baby, you got to have some money. And that's what the majority of these broads teach them because that's the type of man they want. So actually what mama is creating is the type of boyfriend that she always wanted, but didn't choose that type of motherfucker. And your daddy's still in jail for now his 5th fucking felony. You understand what I'm saying now? You ain't even pick a man that you trying to create your son to be. You picked a motherfucker that just got out of jail again. You picked a motherfucker that went around and was robbing people. You picked a motherfucker that has no secondary education whatsoever, no skills, no motherfucking hands, nothing. This is the motherfucker you picked to have a child with. And at the very least, yeah, if you want to get the mandingo punch to you, that's cool. But at least use a condom. At least be on birth control. These hoes go in there, raw. Oh, baby, I like it raw. Now you think, why do you think the majority of women in this country that have STDs, you don't believe me? Hop offline right now and go to the CDC website. The majority and the highest rate of STDs right now in America is between Black and Latina women. Coded. Now I don't have to make nothing up. Go look it up for your fucking self. The bulk of STDs in this country, and a lot of that's attributed by the nasty ass men they deal with too. Don't get me wrong. But like I said, you have a choice. These chicks is choosing to go wrong. You understand? Damn, and I'm sure people sleep on you, but you have a very high intelligence level. You know how to go deep. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Guys, make sure y'all hit up the like button and make sure y'all hit up the Cash App, $ STRINGERBELL80. Let's see if we get a little $40 in there or something before I get off this podcast in about 5-10 minutes or whatever. But it just had to be said. Jess Hilarious. And ladies that are just like her, that is cantankerous and nasty or whatever, y'all need to change y'all fucking attitude. Because as y'all can see, your own men are opting not to date you. And a lot of you women get on here and y'all think the recourse is to come at men and tell, and this new little movement where y'all running around telling everybody, hey, don't donate to them. It's all about us, sisters, or whatever, whatever. If that's the case, let me ask this. If y'all hate men so much, right, then won't y'all just buy like a little island, right? And y'all could be like Wonder Woman in the Amazons and shit. All y'all chicks live on a fucking island. You understand what I'm saying? And y'all just fucking sit there and love each other. Y'all be a whole society of lesbians or some shit like that. You get what I'm saying? Just be a whole society of lesbians. Because that seems to be the area that y'all fit in, and that's what y'all like. Since y'all hate men, if I was up here every day and I said I hate women and leave women alone or whatever, homie, I love pussy. You understand what I'm saying? I loves pussy. You understand? So I can't imagine in my ear when I would get around a group of men. That's why I have a problem sometimes with them red pill dudes and shit that be on here. Oh, women this and women that. I don't agree with them motherfuckers either. I don't hate women. I love the J. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna I don't disagree with some of the points of the red pill culture, but at the same time, a lot of that shit come off kind of like weird. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, homie, I know folk, like how can I say it? I don't hate women, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you will never get me to say I hate women. I hate the attitudes of women. It's more what I'm digesting on right now. And this temperament that has come from the influence of a batch of fucking bitches that most of the time are ugly. Don't y'all notice the loudest voices in these movements and these things about, oh, don't donate to men anymore? That's the most stupid shit I ever heard in my life, especially when there's men on here that are advocating for women. And I have women that come here and they be like, oh, I can't donate to him. He's a man. So won't y'all be like Wonder Woman in the Amazon and all you bitches that think like that, move to that island and y'all just date each other? Case solved, right? Case solved. If you hate men that fucking much, because y'all all say y'all successful, y'all all millionaires now, whatever, when the average woman make under $80,000 a year in comparison to men, all right? But since y'all also rich, all y'all rich bitches put your finances together. Go buy an island like Jeffrey Epstein and the motherfuckers did, and go live on that motherfucker. Create your own utopia like Wonder Woman in the Amazons and date each other. And leave us the fuck alone and the rest of the women that want men. You understand what I'm saying here? And to the bitch-raised men that are out here, and I'm talking specifically to Black and Latin men, because for some reason or another, I don't know what happened in the past 7 years. I'm going to go back to my generation, the Zennials. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a Gen Xer, but the Zennials. I'm talking to y'all. For the men and the women. Sir, I'm going to start with you. I don't know what the fuck how many years you missed out on with your 17-year-old, your 18-year-old to 25-year-old. I don't know how many years you missed out fucking around, being at the club, smoking hookah with the boys, smoking blunts on the corner, being in the front of the fucking corner store, whatever the fuck you were doing, right? I don't know how many years you spent doing that, but you should have been around with Junior here throwing a fucking football. You should have been around with Junior here wrestling with him or something like that. And a lot of you men got a lot to do with why these boys act like fucking feminine bitches. And the boys don't even realize they act like bitches. So for the young men, because I have a young spectrum of dudes that follow me too, for y'all, let me drop something down to y'all. If you see another man and you feel that man is a threat because of the way he looks, the way he's dressed, the way his hair's cut, or whatever the case may be, nigga, you might like D in your booty, nigga. If you trying to grab the attention of another man, you might be looking for a date in reality. You might have some issues and some complexes because it don't make no motherfucking sense that black and Latin men, they always looking around and oogling at other men. You ain't never noticed that from this little batch of little motherfuckers, as these millennial motherfuckers, they always looking around at other men. How come you ain't looking at bitches? These niggas looking at other men. You shouldn't be looking at me how I'm dressed, you half a motherfucking sweet motherfucker. Now that's the difference between somebody authentically being in the motherfucking LGBT community who I respect versus a motherfucker that's just sweet because he grew up with a cantankerous bitch in the house that also hate men. I'll say it to you again, so in case you missed what I said, ladies and gentlemen. We have a batch of men coming up in the society that are between the age demographics of 13 and 18 years old specifically, that are out here and they go up and extend to 25, some in cases 30 and 35. That these men, if they see another man, if you don't believe me, test it tonight. Walk out your door, put your fly shit on, or just dress normal and it looks flyer than the average motherfucker, right? Have your hair cut, whatever the case may be. As a man, walk past a group of these motherfuckers and then plot it out and have a group of white people walk past right behind you. They won't even blink an eye at the white folks walking behind you. But if you black or Latin walk beside them, why that nigga dress nice? Oh, look at him. Oh, y'all motherfuckers act like y'all want a date. I went to the grocery store and had 5 motherfuckers vowing for my attention. I'm like, nigga, you want a date? Is that what it is? You think I'm cute, nigga? You understand what I'm saying? And these are bitches raising these motherfuckers. Not women, bitches. I know the difference. I got 2 sisters. So I know a bitch raised boy when I see one. And that's totally different from somebody that's in that LGBT community. These are not real men. These are bitches. This is the same bitch nigga that I act. I've seen this shit a million times. And you know why I know? Because I've been the shooter. This will be the same bitch motherfucker. If something pop off, that bitch ass motherfucker is going to run. He's going to run. Trust me. If some shit go down, he's going to tell on the whole entire fucking crew. He ain't going to take no time. If some shit go down with his girl, he going to run on his girl. I've seen 3, 4. Ain't y'all seen those videos? When the dude, it was a video something a little while ago. The dude, and he was Latino. He left his girl because these guys pulled a prank and act like they were robbing him. If y'all seen that video? And the dudes in the video, they real G's. They come out and say, yo, your boyfriend's a bitch. This is the type of men that these single moms, not all of them, but a good 60% have raised in the last generation. Men that are, boys that are sitting out there, what kind of boy sits there and stares at another man and sits there and envies him? Well, there's all these bitches out here. And you staring at another man, you sweet motherfucker. And you ain't part of the LGBT community, I could understand if you was part of that. But you a heterosexual man staring at other men, homie, you got some shit you hiding, bro. Again, Davin, I'm sure people sleep on you, but you have a very high intelligence level now to go deep. I wish more people did, man. And I wish more people would donate to the page and support the page and whatever. And I've been feeling kind of weary lately because I'm like, yo, man, I've been opening up other spaces and things like that for myself and trying. I'm noticing I'm getting a bigger, audience in other places. And I think, what's your name again? T Mac J. I think what the problem is, T Mac J, is that YouTube has surmised itself nowadays to only flush out. Now, I'll give you an example. If you get a fight video, and this go into that bitch syndrome shit, because they're catering to a certain demographic. You understand? This is all about marketing. They know in the Black and Latin demographic, they go by what gets the highest retention rates as far as videos are concerned. And usually they're fight videos, they're videos of motherfuckers bashing their own people, both Black and Latino, and videos of what you see almost every blogger do. You understand? Some justifiably. Some of them I join in on because I'm like, yo, you know what? You right about that shit. Fuck that motherfucker. But some of them unjustifiably. And so what happens is the YouTube algorithm now starts to saturate this information because it's all taken in by metadata. That's small increments of data that's collected. I learned this in college. Metadata or nanodata. And so what they do is they collect the nanodata and metadata because all this shit is automated. It's none of it's like y'all think it's a group of elves or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Going through YouTube. Oh, no, 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 no. You can't do that. Oh, no, 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 no. Somebody tell Santa Claus. No, it's metadata and nanodata collection. So nanodata and nanodata collection, just look up the terminologies. Nanodata collection, metadata collection. META, NANA. All right. So metadata and metadata and nanodata collection. Both of those definitively are small increments of data. So some of them have to do with retention rates, how long somebody stays on a certain video, how long they saturated or whatever the case may be. You can see example of this when you're in YouTube Studio. They'll tell you the exact same thing. Okay, this amount of people stayed on this video for this amount of long, and then that will surface and be how much they push that one video out. That's why I tell you guys a lot of times my older videos get pushed out further, and then you'll see a month later the video I had up before. Now that video's got 10,000 views, 5,000 views, whatever the case may be. Y'all ever notice that? That's what happens. So when you have a bulk of people that basically have the same niche, basically have the same coming and shit like that or whatever, what happens is at that point is now as a collection, they look at a demographic culturally, they look at it gender wise, they look at it religion wise. These are all different demographics that they collect. So, and you might think this is funny or whatever, just go look it up. Nanodata and metadata collection. And so what they do is they now, anybody that kind of resonates on that helm or on that horizon right there, they make sure that they put them first, because the bulk of the crowd has showed them by example by their retention, how long they sit on the video, how long they come back to that certain podcast, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now I know that I can go check this person and he's guaranteed to do this. Well, if you do that over and 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 over, this now becomes the norm. This is why I always preach to everybody, okay, you could do all these gossip columns and all this shit here on here, and that's fine. Some of the stuff needs to be talked about, but you guys also need to take in that, hey, what's going on, man? TMH Global. You also need to take an order. TMH, I hope you saw my video. I went to the grocery store yesterday. I put up a video for that. So make sure you go down and check it out so you know what I did with your money and everything like that. And you guys, make sure you hit the Cashapp up right now. $STRINGERBELL80. I love to get out of this house. Like, I really would. If y'all not noticed, I haven't been traveling or nothing for like a week. So donate $20, $30 to the freaking Cashapp. This guy always donates to me. And Miss Foster, shout out to her. She always donates to me too as well. But you have meta and nanodata collection. And both of these forms of collection, basically, they have now been stipend by basically gossip columnists. All right. And this is why I tell you guys, pick one night or two nights out of the week. Thank you. Let me pin this right here. This is my Cash App, guys. So make sure y'all hit this. I'm going to keep on telling to y'all guys about this because TMH Global, he always deserves a show. What basically happens is, if you guys would pick one night, two nights out of the week to talk about something else that's of your own demise, like 10 of y'all get together, you say, hey, this is what we're going to talk about. Now, you don't believe me, I'm going to sing this to you again. This is how trends get started on Instagram. This is how trends get started on YouTube, on Twitter. This is how trends get started on Facebook. And the way they get started is, you have groups of individuals that say, hey, this is what we're going to talk about. You need an example? It was one night I went on freaking what's the name, and the number one trending topic on there was plain simply Black and Latin people. That's what they had on Twitter. I went on Instagram one night and it was a whole trend the girls had started about Black beauty. I went to another trend one night on Facebook and everybody wanted to talk about reparations. Y'all can literally correlate what the fuck happens on here, but instead, y'all want to go along with massa. Y'all still stuck in these tubes, just like I try to tell y'all. Like when you see Neo wake up in the Matrix, and you know he looks around, he sees all the other tubes sitting around him. That's y'all. And I blame the vloggers more than I blame the motherfucking subscribers. Your subscribers are not going anywhere, guys. If you pick one night out of the week and say, you know what, I want to talk. I spend some nights talking about God because I firmly believe in God. God's gotten me out of a lot of situations. Yeah, some people are going to log off because you're talking about God, but fuck them. I don't give a fuck about no non-believer. Fuck you. Get away from my channel. And the other thing that you guys got to do as vloggers, you got to stop being scared to lose some of these motherfuckers. People think I'm crazy because I got 15,000 followers. All right. I don't give a fuck if a motherfucker unsubscribe. People have tried to hurt. I'm unsubscribed. I don't give a fuck. I got 15,000 other motherfuckers. Who the fuck are you? And you ain't never donated? Get the fuck on. Go bother somebody else's pages with your broke ass, you bitch. I don't give a fuck if I lose 10 of them. In fact, on a daily basis, I go into my YouTube studio and I told y'all, and I put it up for y'all before, I will find motherfuckers. You got a funny looking profile, or like that bitch ass nigga that came in here this earlier talking about he got an 8-ball head. I'm sitting there talking about some real shit. Block, and I report that bitch. You understand what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to lose 5, 10 people, because what you're gonna find is, and what y'all ain't homed in on, if y'all ain't paying attention, your top, and I notice this from everybody's motherfucking page I go to, and y'all need to understand this. Everybody's page I go to is always something like this. You got 10, 15 to 20 motherfuckers solid, depending on your following rate, that donate to you. All right? 10 to 15%. The rest of the motherfuckers is the spectators. Then you got to throw this in order. If y'all never paid attention to this, okay, you got 100,000 followers, right? But haven't you noticed that only a third of your followers at most given times show up? I know a guy right now that's got 10,000 plus. He never gets any more than 300 people in his chat. Why is that if he's got 10,000 plus? I know another blogger right now that they think they're huge as fuck, and they about to go the fuck away because the shit you be talking. I'm going to talk about him towards the end right here too. Matter of fact, because I heard some shit you said, and I'm disappointed in you too. But you're only getting a third. And I think the reason they do this is because their servers, they don't want their servers to break down. YouTube sees over 1 billion people visit this website every fucking day, okay? And their servers could not handle that, whether it's the satellites directing the signal or whether it's otherwise. Their shit couldn't handle it. And until they devise some other way, and I heard Elon Musk is working on something, but until their servers can do something to prevent that, this is with any server in America. You have a base server, and then you have everybody else as an allotted server, meaning they dish this out, dish that out, dish this out for the website. You get what I'm saying? But so if you got 1 billion motherfuckers coming at one time, that means that everybody's getting the whole retention of their whole following group. You understand what I'm saying here? So that means if you got 100,000 followers, they got 100,000 followers, they got 100,000 followers, 300,000 motherfuckers you got to be accounted for using those servers. And those servers are being used for comments, chat room, donations, everything else from the super chats. You understand what I'm saying? So it's really just based out on basic technology. You get what I'm saying? Now, if you don't believe any of that, go look it up. I'll give you some other terms you can go look up to as well to learn a little bit more about the business. Vertical integration and synergy. Look up those two terms, vertical integration and synergy. That's spelled with an S, if you need to know. Synergy, synergy. The other one is vertical integration. Look up those two terms, and you'll understand a lot about how YouTube works and how a lot of these other apps work as well. Now, the point is, guys, and I'm glad you're in here, guys, make sure y'all hit up the Cashapp, $STRINGERBELL80. Yeah, facts. Davin's YouTube subscribers are stuck in the tube. I'm telling you, just like Neo in the Matrix. That's exactly how it is. You have a decision to make, guys, moving forward into 2024, 2025. And I'm seeing that a lot of the white podcasters, they're learning this themselves. You can't just talk about the shit you were talking about gossiping. You got to start getting more witty. They're already making it so now what I had previously already been doing, now y'all have to do, which is you have to edit the videos, you have to chop them up, you have to do something with them before you just add them up. Before, you remember everybody used to just add up, just rip the clip and just upload it. Ever since the ascension of me doing fucking shorts, and I've been doing shorts before a lot of motherfuckers were. Even before they monetized it, which is worth. You understand what I'm saying? I saw a guy show some results he got 2 million views, and he showed a comparison of the 2 million views he got for 1 month from the shorts and the revenue he got, which came out to 153 fucking dollars. And then the revenue from his long form videos, which came out to almost $23,000. I can't make this up. You get what I'm saying? So you guys need to spend at least one night, 2 nights a week. Do it for yourself and for your own conscience. And this derived from talking about motherfuckers or whatever. Do y'all not notice at the beginning of this, I was talking about Tina Knowles and her divorce. I was segue into fucking Jess Hilarious and clearing that up or whatever. And guys, if you wonder what I'm talking about, Jess Hilarious, just go down and click the link in the description box. I got an update for y'all that may surprise a lot of y'all. And it goes in contention once again of what I was saying was right. I come from this business. I worked in this business for years. I'm known in this business to this day. You understand? Don't let my current situation make you be fooled that I'm not anymore. I'm still around these guys. I still talk to these guys or whatever. I'm just not opulent right now. You understand what I'm saying? I've got normal people problems. Today I had to have a good man that lives here in my building come fix my water because one of the fucking water pipes was flipped. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes I got some bugs running around the crib, ants and shit. You understand what I'm saying? I'm normal right now. It's cool. You understand? I won't be here for a long time. But the point is, you guys have got to start putting direction into talking about something of substance. You understand? Especially if you're in the age range between 18 and 25. Stop putting up videos about motherfuckers getting shot. Stop putting up videos about who going to jail. Let's solve the unsolved case of such and such that got murdered in the gang. I ain't saying fuck them, but who gives a shit? If Jesus couldn't save that motherfucker, if his parents couldn't save that motherfucker, who gives a fuck? I don't give a fuck why a nigga is dead. I'm trying to prevent motherfuckers from dying. And when you know the setback and you've seen it, and it's a repeated cycle, you understand what I'm saying? Listen. The niggas and the jigs and the tap dancers, they used to be at the front of the corner store. They used to be on the corner selling crack. It used to be in the fucking parks and shit like that, all the dredge places or whatever. And I just stomped through there with them, shot at a couple of them through there, whatever. I'm the real deal. I make no mistake. There's newspaper articles about me. I don't have to make up shit. I've shown my shit up here. It's 8 pages long. You understand what I'm saying? I used to really do that shit. And it was with an organization of guys of 30 plus. You understand what I'm saying? I make no hides. I don't hide anything from it or any fucking thing else. I tell you guys the truth here. I'm also a college graduate and I also worked in a record company because I ended that shit early when I saw guys of mine that I know that are doing life in prison, guys that I know that won't come home for a very long time and haven't been home in 15, 14 fucking years. I know one guy right now, his daughter this past year graduated from high school. He hasn't seen his daughter since she was like 7 years old. You understand what I'm saying here? So make no mistake, when you're talking to me, you're not talking to a fucking fraud or somebody that ain't never done it. Hey, when I got caught with over, what was it, 500 grams or some shit or something. Like, I'm not no joke guy. You know what I mean? The guys you're fucking with are fucking jokes and idiots. You understand what I'm saying? They're unorganized. They don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they're fucking dodos. You guys have an obligation here as men and women to, one, get yourself in line as being people, and two, get yourself in line for the younger batches of adults that are coming behind you. You understand what I'm saying here? And the people that are coming behind you, they're going to repeat the same cycle as you. They're going to get harassed by the cops. They're going to get harassed by white society. They're going to get harassed when they're trying to go get a job. They're going to get harassed by college applications and all that shit. And do you want that for your kids? And you sitting around, you still thinking that's cool, and you're giving an example. You're taking it from the street and now putting it on the fucking internet. So before, just the people in the neighborhood would see it and they get bothered by it. Now everybody on the internet is seeing it and get bothered by it. And they say to themselves, damn, that's all they do. They still doing the same thing. Haven't they learned? No, some of them haven't. Some of them is fucking tradition. And the only people you're turning up on is your own people. Go turn up on the motherfuckers in Hollywood. Go turn up on them motherfuckers in the suburbs, deep suburbs. Go turn up on them motherfuckers like I do, and I go up to I got to be one of the bravest podcasters there is. I go in front of Trump Tower and call these motherfuckers poor white trash as they walking out of Trump Tower. And talk about the difference between poor white trash and regular white people and opulent white people, because they are 3 tiers. It's poor white trash, it's regular white people, and then it's high tier white people, and they fit in the same. Some of them come from poor white trash. Some of them come from opulent backgrounds. You must learn. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of y'all are out here trying to combat motherfucking white folks with the same shit, throwing up memes. I saw somebody throw up a meme the other day. We were slaves in this country. Don't nobody give a fuck. They don't care. Don't you get it? They don't care. They don't give a fuck if you know if you divulge into them, y'all used to be slaves. They know they were the ones that enslaved you. So why the fuck are you saying the obvious? No, if you really want to fucking change, you got to do the shit that I do. You got to go in front of these fucking buildings. You got to go fucking talk the way you talk. And you got to stop holding your tongue as soon as a white man come into a court. Talk the same fucking way. Did y'all hear me change my voice when I was up there? And that makes my 40th time being up there. Even the fucking people that work in the building up there was agreeing with some of the shit I said. Well, he do got a point. Can't no poor white trash afford an apartment up in this motherfucker. Can't no trailer trash afford a place up in this motherfucker. The going place in Trump Tower started at $100,000. Y'all have come so cohesive to trying to fit and aggregate yourself into white culture when most of y'all come from households that never seen $20,000, $30,000 in their fucking life. You understand what I'm saying here? So stop pretending that you fit in with something and start embracing the people that are around you. And for the bulk of the northeastern states, and I say even the greater part of New England, it happens to be Black and Latino. You get it now? So start providing information on your channels that serves those people. You got your own men that are sleeping. Y'all pass by people that are Black and Latino, specifically men, every day, homeless, and don't say shit to them. Say something to them. If you see these motherfuckers getting drunk, be like, nigga, get the fuck up and go get some money. You understand what I'm saying? You got to start being more responsible and understand you have a duty on these YouTube motherfucking streets or any other social media engine that you use. And stop using it to fucking please white folks, because little do you know that's what you're doing. They are laughing at you when you sit up night after night. Guess who shot so-and-so? The murder mystery is so-and-so. Guess who got indicted? Da-da-da-da-da. That's why, DJ Academics, I love you to death, but your ass is out of here in a minute. If you keep doing the same shit, you're getting too old. Ain't you 33, 34 now? Niggas gonna get tired of hearing about you doing hip-hop law. Same thing with Joe Budden. Joe Budden, you got another 2-3 years after that. Cashapp, go the fuck home. And I like Joe Budden. Bit my fucking style with the hat, but you know, whatever. You understand what I'm saying? And a couple other personalities out here. There's gonna be personalities that come replace you. So you gotta find something else to talk about and do like I do and many other podcasters do, which that is educate these folks. You know, there was a time, many of y'all know Lord Jamal. I remember growing up, and he had a song with his group called Brand Nubian. A lot of y'all don't even know Lord Jamal used to be a rapper, and a very good rapper at that. And he had a song called Wake Up. And at the beginning of the song, they said this. He said, the duty of a civilized man is to do what? Civilize the uncivilized. That's your duty. Civilize the uncivilized, not become more uncivilized. And maybe I'm just different. You know, a lot of y'all throw racist comments at me. Oh, that nigga's half Cuban or da-da-da-da-da-da. So what? I'm fucking half Cuban. Dr. Sabi, y'all hold him as testament on every fucking thing. He's from the Honduras. And I shocked. I had a couple motherfuckers like, huh? When I said that. Yes, he's from the Honduras. I knew that first time I heard him and I heard his accent. I was like, yo, he's from the Honduras. He's either from Honduras or from Colombia. And I was right. He's from the Honduras. So Dr. Sabi, if y'all can flow around with Dr. Sabi, you understand what I'm saying, and hold him everything as testament, what the fuck is the problem with me? Or many other Afro-Latinos, if you want to say, that are on this line that are trying to tell y'all shit, and y'all just ain't listening to it. Y'all rather sit around and argue with each other, fight with each other, and do shit that's detrimental to your culture instead of fucking listening to other people that are telling you straight to your fucking face, listen to me, homie. And this goes for Latinos too that are in it. This Latinx fake shit, which is basically a bulk of fucking Latin conservatives that want to bag and bang on newly arrived immigrants. You got people, let me talk about that for a minute before I get off of here. You got people in this little Latinx community, right? This little bullshit they got. Because that's what it is. It's a whole bunch of Latinos that want to pretend like they white Americans and don't have blonde hair and blue eyes. Instead, have brown hair, brown nipples, and black hair. Anyway, let me hold you. So these motherfuckers have figured that they can collectively get together. And what they want to do is they want to pounce on newly arrived immigrants and bash on people from Mexico, bash on people from Colombia, bash on people from Ecuador, places like this, right? And act like they're better than them because they've been here longer and they speak English. Motherfucker, you barely American your goddamn self. So am I. You understand what I'm saying? So who the fuck are you to create a whole group, name the group, and basically self-hate on your own people, even if you're not in the dysphoria of them, meaning like you wasn't in the hardships of the Mexican people that were down there getting ran out by the cartels and shit like that, or maybe one of your family members got murdered by the cartel, or like in Colombia, the same thing. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe you one that's at death. You understand what I'm saying? But you know something about that, especially if you come from the Dominican Republic, Honduras, Cuba, anywhere like that. You know this. And so when I see these little Latinx groups are getting together, or whatever, you bash, and I hear this shit all the time online. Yo, what about them fucking Mexicans? They taking up all the fucking hotels in New York and all that shit. And I've been there and I've covered some of it. I cover the shit that's on the bad end. Yeah, nigga, if you came from somewhere else and you here now and you got a free hotel room and you got an opportunity, why the fuck are you on the corner, around the corner from the hotel, drinking beer, smoking weed and shit all day? Yeah, I'm gonna say something about that, nigga. You fucking up. And you know what? That's probably why you was in the position down there that you was in, because you was down there drinking all day, smoking weed all day, hanging out. You understand what I'm saying? Right here in my city, we got men that's from Mexico, Peru, and a couple other places that sit around in the fucking park all day and drunk first thing at 7 o'clock in the morning, passed out in the grass. Y'all done seen it before. I done put it up there because it fucking disgusts me, littering everywhere. This ain't Guadalajara, nigga. Get it together. You understand what I'm saying? And that's not to be separated from the men that do work and do bust their ass or whatever you do. You understand what I'm saying? But they get money. That's my point. You get me? So how dare you with this Latinx group or whatever, whatever. I dare you as Black Americans the same way. Y'all motherfuckers are oppressed. That's why I said we got into this new thing where the oppressed, the formerly oppressed, now want to be the oppressors. This goes with women. This goes with men. This goes with beyond gender. It goes with culture now. Latinx shouldn't even fucking exist, in my opinion, because most Latinos are in this country. I'm gonna say, especially specifically from the 70s and 80s. Nigga, you only 2, 3 generations out. Who the fuck are you to talk about somebody that's migrated here from Peru or wherever the fuck else? Who are you? You understand what I'm saying? And especially if you're the type of motherfucker where you talk about that Latinx shit, and this has happened a lot of times. Y'all don't know about this because most of my viewers are Black. There's a few Latinos too. And guys, make sure y'all hit up the Cashapp, $STRINGERBELL80. I want to see at the minimum I can make like a little $40. See what happens, man. I want to step out somewhere, go somewhere, something like that. I'm tired of sitting in the house. Y'all ain't never seen me sit in the house like this, right? I'm always out and I'm always about or whatever, whatever. But I saw I wasn't appreciated, so I had to stop doing that. But you get a lot of Latinos that are now in this thing or whatever, but at the same time, they were born here, but their parents weren't born here. That's what's even more confusing. Your parents don't even speak English. You know what I'm saying? And you going around touting this fucking conservative shit and this Latinx shit and making fun of other migrants that are coming here, when in reality, and I've seen this happen before, when them ICE motherfuckers show up, yeah, you might not be going nowhere, but they want to deport your parents or deport your grandparents. You see what I'm saying? So how the fuck are you better than them? And I see a lot of this shit online a lot of times, and I'm just like, yo, y'all motherfuckers are confusing to me. You understand what I'm saying? What side are you on, homie? So I know at the end, you know? And tú sabes la gente. We either lines or sheeps or shears, lines with aprons to be cut, sheep with aprons waiting to get cut, or sheeps with shears pretending to be shears. Yes, 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 yes. That is just perfect right there. That is just perfect. So like I said, guys, I'm gonna get up on off of here because I'm not gonna go to the 3 hour mark and not get any donations, not getting any appreciation. I'm glad y'all got some shit for free. Like it seemingly, you understand what I'm saying? This is another reason why a lot of y'all you lose, because when y'all get people that really talk the talk, I have to hinder my intelligence here. because motherfuckers won't donate a dime to you. You understand what I'm saying? But they want to hear everything. So that cuts my dream. And the only reason I went a little bit longer is because TMH Global was here and he always donates. And if you are here, you're listening to me and you've never donated to me and never supported me, you're part of the problem. That's my time. Talk to you later.